class. I'm Marco, and today I'm joined by a fellow and amazing Englishman, Carter. How you doing, Carter?
Yeah, not too bad yourself.
Yeah, I'm just doing great, man. Just I'm really thankful that I'm being joined by awesome people every single time that I commentate.
Yeah, it's top tier.
Yeah, what do you think about Dragon Show Gardens? It's a technical track, and will we see possibly a different winner in this round?
Oh god, when I tell you Dragon Tail, I absolutely love Gran Turismo, but Dragon Tail is the one that I can just never quite get right. This is such a challenging track, and it will be completely down to whoever can just make minimal mistakes is going to win today.
Yeah, especially with the high curbs that can unsell your car really fast. We're
So
gonna see
easily.
some we're gonna see some interesting car control being displayed today, I think.
Yeah, I think it definitely could open up some really good opportunities for some very close racing. But at the same time, you could definitely see one clear winner. Out of all of this, I mean, it could be anybody's race. It's just whoever's here on the day.
Yeah. Uh, so round preview, and I'll let Carter have the word.
Alrighty, so we are here at the fictional track of Dragon's Tail for the third round today. We are still in Europe, and we will be for the next couple of rounds as well. However, it should be a very good race, as we were saying. Let's take a little look at the track. We are racing on the B track, I believe, here in fictional Croatia. It is a 4.352 kilometer circuit, 3 sectors and 14 turns. 18 laps today and no mandatory pit stops. But if a change of weather permits, you do have the intermediates and wets to choose from. We have some previous round results here, and it is clear that Peter Kiss is running away with that. Great race from him. Unfortunately, the 30-second penalty from Ronald put him all the way down at the bottom at the end of last race. Let's take a little look at our current standings, and it is Peter Kiss that is running away with it. Two back-to-back wins is doing him a very big favour here. But as we say, anything could change. And I mean, if you look from second place to fifth, it could be anybody's race, and we could see a massive change of order. But with the current standings, it's looking pretty set in stone. We've got a spec series here. Of course, it's the M4 GT4 car we use. It uses a 3-litre engine that produces nearly 400 horsepower. But the car is very light, so we can see it's a really nimble car, which could work in the favour of this circuit. Not a very high top speed, but not to worry because we don't have particularly long straights. So I think some really close action we could be seeing here today.
Yep. And I think qualifying has just started.
It
Uh,
should have, yeah, it just should have got underway.
yeah, qualifying is in progress, and we'll jump into qualifying.
All right. Well, on board at the moment with. Oh, God, I'm not even going to try and pronounce that.
Everyone is on their outlaps, so it's gonna be fun seeing who is gonna get the fastest time early. But I got a suspicion that RH Petty might just take the fastest lap time.
Do you think?
Um,
Well, we've got 9 cars, but we can only see 8 in the leaderboard. Oh, no, that will probably be including spectator. Ooh, oh, getting a bit Larry out of that corner, but he's managed to keep it in one place. The beautifully red and yellow design. I'm a big fan of that. I was also a big fan. There's one that looks very similar to Brawn and with that white and bright yellow. I think that's a
yeah,
lovely livery.
yeah, and people are starting their qualifying laps now. And yeah, as I said before, we can only see the first 8 because in Gran Turismo you can only see the top 8 on the
That'll be
leaderboard.
why. Yeah,
Uh,
I'm so not used to looking at Gran Turismo. That'll
uh,
be why.
it's fair enough. The guy in P9 is in the pits, Subatomi. Uh, but yeah, we can see that the drivers are already tackling the very technical track in interesting fashion with the high curbs and slow and medium speed corners.
Yeah, beginning to see some mistakes already, but it's much better if you make a mistake on your outlap rather than on your fast lap. So they'll be sussing out the track whilst they're on their outlaps, and now on to some fast driving. He's on his first fast of the day, and he's hooking it up pretty well at the moment. Penks getting through nicely, making the most of that curb and trying not to push the car too hard. Now this section we do see double right. He's done that pretty nicely on the exit as
On
well.
the
And can he get
limit.
onto the... Oh, right on the limit. That's an absolutely amazing pull. Very, very long right-hander. And it's quite difficult to get that perfect. So he's done that nicely. And we should, I reckon, see a very good starting time as he comes around the final corner and on to the main straights.
Yeah, I'm guessing that the first lap will be the banker lap of everyone. But Panks crosses the line to their 40.3, and next up is Petty, and is gonna do a 40.1, followed by Lancelot, who let him by before the last corner. Haba takes second momentarily with a 40.3. Gaben 40.9. Ferreira with a 41.0. Zunis 41.0, and the Czech driver. Oh yeah, Tassi 40.7. But I was just talking about the Czech driver. He had a very strong showing in the opening round, Watkins Glen, but it seemingly fell off after that. I wonder what happened to him.
Well, maybe it might have just been a track that he really understands. I mean, this is quite a difficult track to get yourself up to speed with. So if a driver hasn't been putting too much practice in, you say that he has just gone purple. So he should be improving his time significantly so long as he can hook up the rest of the lap. But yeah, nearly a second off of the lead. It's going to be a lot to gain.
Yeah. Right now, oh yeah, I saw that Subatomi has gone out of the pits and has already completed his lap. So all 9 drivers are on track right now, and one of them, Penks, is already at the last corner. See, nice and easy. Third gear, already mid corner, takes a wide line, for the middle part. And what's this lap time gonna be? Crosses the line, fifth gear, almost 200 kilometers per hour, and it's gonna be 40.1. What's gonna be Petty's answer? And he's not gonna improve. Lancelot improves. Uh, Haba takes provisional pole 39.5. Unbelievable stuff.
That is a phenomenal lap and has really set the bar for everybody else to beat. There we go. There goes the Czech driver. He only moves up to P6 and it's 1.2 seconds off the pace. And it seemed like a really strong lap. So what we're seeing from the Hungarian driver here, I mean, is pure dominance. Half a second quicker than everybody else. He's going to
Yeah.
be really, really tough to beat in this qualifying. And I mean, if he can replicate this driving in the race, I can't really see him losing.
Yeah, and this is very interesting because the norm of this season so far has been Petty completely dominating every session, and seeing
Mm.
Haba take provisional pole by 5 tenths is incredible. Because Haba had bad luck in the first 2 races and wasn't quite up to pace, but he's doing really well right now. And as I say
Mm.
that, he runs wide in these 2 corners. So I'm sorry for the commentators curse.
It
Uh,
always happens. It always happens.
yeah.
But I mean,
Hank,
if we look, oh sorry, other than our pole man at the moment, it is quite tight out on track. I mean, n- what's that? 300ths of a second between P2 and P3 respectively
yeah,
is so close. I mean, if we didn't have our pole man out there right now, that's an incredible qualifying to look at.
yep. So far, no one is improving. Uh, Petty comes over. No, Petty isn't even improving. Only Gavin improved. Need a 40.5. Ferreira improves. What has Tassi got? Is he gonna improve? Yeah, he is. 40.2.
Significantly.
P4 momentarily for RH Tassi.
Now that is a really important lap for him because not only is it going to get him up a few places, it's going to be a big confidence booster that he knows he can go out there and find that time. I mean, he's got half a second in that lap alone. So I really think if you can continue on that trajectory, it could be a really decent result.
Yeah, but don't forget that we are almost 8 minutes into this qualifying session, and this qualifying session, for those of you who don't know, lasts 10 minutes. So,
He's got one
uh,
lap to make it stick then.
yeah,
Oh, half a second penalty
and for Haba, he
for
took it
yeah,
at the chicane, I think.
for Tarsi, half a second. So that's pretty much his qualifying over. I doubt he'll get another lap in now.
No, no, he can get another lap in. A lap is 140, so he can get one
Depends on
more lap.
whether he served it or not.
No, he has already served it. Haba has already
Is
served the
already
penalty.
served, right?
So it's one lap for everyone. One more lap for everyone, I think.
Oh,
Pengs
this is
is
what it all
just
comes down to.
behind. Yep. Uh, Pengs gets turn one done. Up to the chicane uh part. First corner. Oh, this is a mistake. Takes advantage of the middle part and goes wide on the exit. Oh, Zernes! 39.9!
Wow.
Yeah, I talked about him earlier in qualifying. Now he's surprising us again. Unbelievable stuff from the Czech driver.
Even more so, he's going to be able to sneak another lap in because we've very. Oh, he's come to a stop. No, he's not going to go for another lap. He's
Yeah,
stopped on the side of the road.
yeah, Penk's got damage. Uh, Front bumper and front left suspension. So that's his qualifying over.
Oh,
Uh,
that's always frustrating.
yeah, we're gonna see Haba trying to maybe improve on pole. Subatomi gets his penultimate lap in 42.3. But we're
So,
almost at the end.
with most
Haba.
drivers coming to the end of their laps as
Oh,
well.
Haba has a moment. Haba has a massive moment at the corner of four apexes. Yeah,
Mm,
yep.
it
Final
is
lap for everyone. Uh, Qualifying is over, so let's see who can improve.
the next laps matter.
Haba comes over the line. Is he gonna improve? Is he gonna extend his pole margin? No. That's L- Lancelot improves a 40.2. Petty 39.7,
Well,
but that's not enough to take pole away from his teammate. As Jonas comes in the pits. Uh, what about Tassi? Has Tassi got an answer for Haba? No.
it's not an improvement. In fact, it was nearly half a second slower. But if the two teammates are on the front and it's going to be down to him, he's got to improve by nearly 2 seconds. So I'm not 100% sure where he's going to get the time from. But with two drivers on your front row, teammates, you can work together and get yourself away from the rest of the field. It's only down to him whether he can split that party up. As he comes around the final corner, it's going to be a massive time to beat. 2.8 seconds off the lead. Can he close it down? No, he can't. So there we go. The teammates will indeed sit
And that's an
P1
unusual
and P2.
order. That's an unusual order. Cause usually, Petty would be ahead, of Haba. But yeah, it was a pretty tight qualifying session. With the top four, being within 6 tenths of each other.
Yeah, well, it went from being a qualifying where pretty much everybody was about a second off of our pole man, and then now everybody bar one is within a second of each other. So that goes to show it's not until the final lap where we can decide
Everyone
the
bar
order,
two.
and we can clearly see that it should be a really good race, especially in the midfield.
Yeah. Uh, the top seven all within 1 second. Ferreira being the first one out of the 1 second mark with gap of 1.2 seconds to pole. and Subatomi, P9, 2.8 seconds off the pole. But now the race is gonna start, and we're gonna see 18 laps of pure fun. False starts
Right.
for semi-pro, so we're gonna see the red lights come up in a bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights, and it lights out, and Haba gets a decent start and pulls away from his teammate. While we see that Jonas has got a very good start, and Willie's trying to make a move around the outside for P2. But here comes Paint. Is he gonna try to make 3 wide? They're all so bunched up here. And Paint takes P3 for now. And Lancelot. Oh, there has been contact, but Lancelot momentarily takes P5. But Gabin takes P4. Sweeps them both as they did a mistake. And yeah, that mistake from Jonas allowed a lot of people to pass him, basically. Jonas falls down to 7th at the moment. And yeah, Haba uh, keeps the lead from the championship leader. What an amazing start from the two teammates.
Yeah, I mean, it's been an absolutely cracking start. We have had moves flying left, right, and centre. And whoa, off goes a.
Whoa!
Who was that went miles
Gavin.
off? As Gavin off as he loses control over the top of the hill. So it's going to be a lot of work cut out for him if he wants anything out of this race. That is unfortunate. Just a loss of traction by the looks of it. I don't think there was any contacts, but I may be wrong. Our camera angle might have not put it, but the teammates still lead at the front. The two Brawns, I believe, have both gained a net place of
Yeah,
1. So
P4 and P5.
they're climbing up the field ever so slightly, trying to work together as a team. As Altazan just behind, getting a little bit wide, the Czech driver, but he keeps himself half decently. He might have lost a tenth or two, but it wasn't too much. Here we go. Here's a quick replay. And there he just goes. I believe that has to have been a loss of traction there. He sort of just went by himself, I'm pretty certain.
Yeah, the curves are pretty deadly on exit. They're very deadly. They're so high that if you go over them, you will lose the rear end no matter what.
Yeah, I think he's just clipped the grass there, just a slightly shorter replay. Yeah, I think he's gone over the curb, slightly cut the grass, and it sent him flying to the other side of the track. So that is his race pretty much over. He's got about 14 seconds, I think, to the next driver.
No,
So,
from the leader.
oh,
It's
from the
7
leader,
seconds from Subatomi in P8.
he might be able to get a position here if he's got the pace, but it's going to be a really tough one.
Meanwhile, Jonas is attacking Tassi for the top 5. The Czech driver, after a not so good start, trying to take back the positions that he lost. While quick rundown through the run order, Haba still leads with uh, an interesting gap, 7/10 to his teammate. He goes wide at the last corner. That will allow Petty to come even closer to him. What we say about between the two teammates?
Possibly, by the looks of it, he's gonna. Oh, he had a little look to the. Oh, is he gonna go for it? I'm not quite sure. No. Eventually, he decides to back
Haba
out
goes
of it. But
wide.
yeah,
Haba goes
running
really wide.
rather wide on the curb exit, he is going to be able to gain a couple of tenths through there, but not quite as of right now. But he's looking dangerous, and he's also moved to the inside slightly. He's had a little look down the inside, seeing whether it's viable or not. He's testing the waters, possibly breaking down that opportunity, and then he just knows when it's the right time to take it and go for that move.
Yeah, but Haba has pulled like 3/10 from Petty at the moment. So it's Petty's job to catch his teammate. But yeah, as I say that, Gabin has already gained 3 seconds on Subatomi.
Oh
With
wow.
yeah, with Gabin doing a 40.5 and Subatomi doing a 43.0 just on the last lap alone.
So really reeling him in there. Unfortunately, though, by the looks of it,
Oh, Haba goes
Subatomi.
wide.
Oh no!
Haba goes
So
a bit wide there, but it's not enough for Petty to reel him in.
no, he's still just that bit too far back, but he's still well within range. That if something does go wrong, just like that, he runs slightly
Yeah.
wide, and that has
No,
opened the
that's
door for them at
dangerous.
BMW.
That's a
He
dangerous
can
line.
now begin to attack, and I mean that's 4 tenths. So it's three,
Three
4 tenths
tenths.
closed.
2 tenths. Is he gonna let him by? No, he's not.
No,
Haba's still gonna
defends
lead.
nicely, uses all of the track to try and keep himself in front, and now these two are closer than they have been ever before. But I think it's definitely going to be a move into turn one that's going to get this done, unless a big mistake is made.
Yeah. And Haba. Oh my god, that's a very risky line through there from Haba, but he makes it work just by using a lot of the curb. Yeah.
Let's have
Well,
another little look at that. Really using all of the curb, getting two wheels in the air, but he manages to keep it on track nicely and does keep himself in the lead of the race. But that could have gone horribly wrong.
yeah, we have on personal experience, you don't want to be this far on the exit because you will risk yourself a lot of time. But it's also rewarding if you get it right because you can use a lot of track with that. But yeah, Haba goes wide again, and he goes even wider on exit. Is it is it probably Haba um like breaking to the pressure of the championship leader?
I think it might be, I think he's, I wouldn't say nervous, but I'd say just trying to push it a little bit too much. He knows what the competition is behind him. He knows his competition is quick. He's currently leading the championship, of course, and that pressure is immense. Knowing that you've got somebody that is just going to go for that move sooner or later, you just break ever so slightly too late, or slight lapse of concentration, and that's what they get. That's what the good drivers do. Their presence is formidable, and it scares people into mistakes, just
Oh,
like that
yeah,
one
that's a mistake.
as he goes through.
Well, both mistake. Both of the teammates have gone off.
Both have spun. Is that going to let all
Yeah,
drivers through? No.
Panks and Lancelot
Yeah.
take the top two spots.
Oh
Okay.
no! What happened? That is devastation for the team. I
And
mean, it
Stern has
was all right.
65.
It was all right if they overtook each other, but now P3 and P5. What on earth happened there? As we ride
How about
on board with
7?
Petter. So the first beamer gets a little Larry through the first one, and then they both get a bit Larry through the second, and through the third, just both lose it. That's very strange to have both lost it completely on their own accord.
Yeah, and it wasn't even provoked. Haba lost in mid corner, like mid complex, and I think Petty was trying to avoid it and spun himself out. Interesting
Yeah,
developments here.
honestly, I've never seen that before. Two drivers just take themselves out when they're in a battle. I
Yeah.
wasn't
Th-
even going for each other. Oh, look at this. It's very, very close by Petr through the final two turns as he's on the back of the Brawn car. And he's probably not going to be able to go for a move because he's about half a second back. But he is putting that pressure on. He does want to get himself back up
yeah.
into the lead of the race. And he wants it sooner rather than later as we're on lap 6 of 18.
Yeah. Also, special mention goes to Pedro Ferreira, who's currently P5 and was running P7 until this interesting sequence of events happened. I think he was running maybe. Yeah. Yeah, also, Gabin has caught up to Subatomi for P8.
Oh, wow,
Uh,
that was quick.
yeah, that was really quick.
Oh,
But
well, making the most of that clean air, I imagine, and plenty of time to just absolutely nail his lines and get the fastest lap in, lap out. Just having that bit of space to yourself can
yeah,
really help with that.
yeah. Oh, this race really took a turn. with
Yeah.
the dominating cars currently not even in the top 2 spots with Petty P3 and Haba up in P7.
Well, you can't really blame anybody but themselves, can you? They were
Yeah,
doing so well, and we were pretty much looking for a very
Haba up to P6.
comfortable.
Jonas has gone off. Jonas had a crash.
Oh God.
Damage to the front bumper and front right suspension. That leaves Haba.
Let's have a little look. He just got onto the grass and went straight into the wall and got himself back on track nicely. So not too much time lost, but with that damage, he's probably going to lose some time out on track.
Yeah. Uh, but as but there's a massive train, like massive figuratively speaking. 3 cars battling for the lead. Penx goes wide, Lancelot goes wide, Petty goes a bit too tight in turn 1. Uh, but this is gonna be interesting. Will Petty be able to win 3 races in a row?
I'm not too sure. I mean, it's going to be hard work. I mean, the other two drivers are going to be desperate for these positions. These are
How about
really strong
Ferreira?
positions, and they know that they want them. I mean, Petty's he's going to have to really put some effort in. He's going to have to pull out some unbelievable moves to get past because
Yeah.
these two aren't budging. But they
Haba
think they've
takes
just made
P5.
contact. They've just made
Oh,
contact with each other as the Brawn car breaks ever so slightly too late and goes into the back. So Petty takes that opportunity and goes straight through the middle of them.
and Haba takes P5 from Ferreira.
Yeah, here we go. Here's a replay of it as, yeah, the Brawn car just breaks that bit too late, goes straight into the back, and there you go. Petty can move through and overtake both for the lead of the race.
Bit of an anticlimactic
Yeah,
change of lead.
I was expecting a really good fight there, and then yeah, no.
Yeah. But who knows, maybe Penx can reel Petty in. Still 3 tenths behind. Oh, he's going for
He's
it!
going
He,
for it. That's a late move. That's a really late move and
he
goes
misses the
very
breaking
wide.
point. He misses the breaking point and puts Petty wide into the last corner. But that's going to allow Penx to have another run at Petty.
Yeah, well,
Is he
he's got the
going to...
slipstream here, isn't he? He's going to
He's
have
going
to
to
take
pull
the
out.
outside line.
Pull out to the outside. Oh,
Probably
this
look for the
turn.
later apex and get the better acceleration out, but it's not quite to be with the Brawn car as well behind. He's going to be more focused on defending than attacking, I think, at the moment because of that gap.
Yeah. And Gaben has taken P8 from Subatomi as this happened. So Gaben, despite the damage in the first lap, has gone up a place from that incident. Nice.
Yeah, well, he's gotten himself up only
Oh,
one though. It's a while to go to the next car, just shy of 3 seconds, but he could still do it. We've got basically half of the race still to go, so don't count him out.
Yeah. And there's a battle between the Braun cars. Uh, with Haba desperately trying to take back the podium that he threw away earlier in the race.
Yeah, getting really close to the back of these Brawns now, and I mean, we know he's dangerous. We know he's quick around this track. It's about whether he can just set up a good opportunity to make a move. Possibly even down this straight or maybe the main straight, he could go for it, but the double slipstream,
Tassi goes for it.
yeah, they're going to go for a
Tassi
move
goes
on each
for
other.
Tassi goes for the podium position. And Haba,
Side by side they go, but that is going to open the door for into coming through, moves up to P4. Tassi at the moment is going to have to attack into turn 1 if he wants to keep P4 as of right now. He's got the
Tassi's
inside
not gonna
line.
yield. Tassi's not gonna yield. Oh, he yielded. Interesting.
There we go. The two Brawn finally split up. It only took
Oh,
one
Ferreira
lap.
crashed. Ferreira crashed. Out of turn 1, Ferreira spun and hit the inside wall.
Oh, God. It is not going well today.
And Gaben goes up to P7. Interesting.
Here we go. Is a little watch back at it. We can see the two Brawns just in front, but focusing just on the car behind as coming into turn 1 gets a decent entry. So what goes wrong as he goes through? He gets ever so slightly too much over the curb, slightly touches the grass,
And Ferreira
and
has
spins
has
round.
got a penalty. Ferreira has got a half-second penalty for track limits. That's
Uh,
salt to the wind.
that is massively. I
Yep.
mean, at least the damage has already dissipated, but half a second penalty is going to put him all the way at the back of the grid.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. And Petty has pulled away from Paint 1.3 seconds to P2. Very, very anticlimactic, and it it's basically what happens every race. You cannot put Petty down. He's just gonna take the lead no matter what the situation is. It's
Mm.
amazing. But Petty has done a mistake as I talk. Panks is already within half a second of him. What happened there?
That must be a mistake of some sorts.
Mistake of the
I
last corner,
mean,
perhaps.
you don't just lose that much time for no particular reason. That something had to have gone wrong there. As we just looking on board for the fight for P3, it is so close right now. These two drivers, he's basically on the gearbox of the Brawn car just in front, going through some of these corners. It's amazing to watch, but he's just waiting for that opportunity to go for a move, and I think that's kind of how Petty's managing to get these wins all the way through. Is all big slide there through um, the long right, the long left, sorry. Um, and yeah, I think that's kind of what Petty's doing. Is he's just picking his moments to make a move. He's not going in anything too rash. He knows he's got time to make these moves. He knows that you know what, it's all right if I stay behind him for a couple more corners. Something better will come. He's not too eager to go in for a rash move and then all of a
And
sudden,
Haba goes wide.
yeah, all of a sudden it just not work.
Yep. And Petty has pulled away from Panks again.
Hmm. That must
Yeah.
be a mistake then, and he's just clawing that time back.
Yeah. Oh, Haba has a massive slide out of the last corner. And that makes him lose his slipstream to Lancelot. Interesting stuff going on here. No one has the slipstream of each other apart from Subatomi, who has the slipstream of Ferreira up until now.
Mm.
No one has the slipstream of the guy ahead, interestingly.
Yeah, everybody's beginning to spread slightly. We're beginning to get to that kind of stage in the race where everybody's getting quite comfortable in their cars. Everybody's understanding the track. They know when they can brake. They're understanding their tires. They know what's wearing, what's not. In particular, the front. If you just look in the bottom left-hand side
Run right.
of your screen, and oh my god, the tire wear on the front tires. Rear tires are looking really strong, but these front tires are going to be struggling by the end of this race, I can imagine. So that turning in is going to become really difficult,
Yeah.
and that's going to be a big cause of problems for some people because they're going to brake at their normal point and then try and turn, and the car is just going to keep going straight.
You'd think they would understand this, like, as soon as they hit the track for practice.
Mm.
Um,
It can catch you off guard sometimes.
yeah,
Some corners, you just think, yeah, I reckon I'll bring in my braking point slightly earlier, but I reckon it'll be all right. And there'll just be one or two corners where the tires will just give up, and
yeah,
there's not really much you could have anticipated for it.
yeah. You also have to factor in the conditions because they
Mm.
might change from practice to the race. So,
Yeah,
tire
exactly.
can change. Lap 12 now,
Yeah,
and
getting through this race quite quickly.
yeah, and Petty is still leading, which is a common theme that might appear throughout the season. Uh, Penk second, Lancelot third, Haba P4, Tassi P5, Jonas P6, Gaben P7, Ferreira P8, and Subatomi last.
Yeah, well, I mean, at the moment, this fight for P3 is still the most invigorating thing I think we've got at the moment. Is he going to go for the move down the inside? Yes, he is at the hairpin. Is he going
He's
to
gonna
make
go
it stick?
wide. He's gonna go
He's
wide.
slightly gone wide, but he has managed to keep it on track. And I think it's not quite going to be just because it was just slightly too late on the brakes. He could have left it ever so slightly earlier and he'd been absolutely fine. But he's just gone into
Yeah.
that corner just that little bit too hard and it's paying dividend.
Uh, as you say that, Paints has got a 1 second penalty. One.
Oh,
That's gonna spice up the 5-4 P2.
that really is actually.
Yep.
How much is that going to slow him down? Are they going to be? They have managed to make the overtake on him. I think both cars are going to get through. Yes, they are. So all of a sudden, he's got a lot of work to do in what 6 laps. It's going to be difficult, but it's possible. Especially if these two cars keep going at it, they'll keep slowing each other down, and he can just come in and take those positions. But it's going to be effort.
Yep. The Haba relentlessly trying to take P2 from Lancelot. And Lancelot is very good at defending, apparently.
Yeah, well, he's doing a brilliant job at the moment.
Whoa.
So
Massive exit from Haba. But that means that Lancelot will stay ahead for now, as Haba was too close on corner exit. Haba
yeah.
doesn't think about sending it. I think he's waiting for Lancelot to do a mistake. And yeah. That's the only battle going on right now, interestingly.
It is. This is pretty much it. And I mean, it's a great time to be having a fight. And importantly, a great position. A fight for P2. This is something that they'll both be wanting. And I mean, if he can come and take it back and he's going to
Hey,
go for
gotta
it
go
down
for
the
it.
inside,
That's a
still
robust move.
being held through the long right. He is going to get it done. It took a few corners, but he's managed to make it stick. I don't know quite for how long though, because these are he's going to come back, isn't he, down these 2 main straights? Is he going to go for it? No, not
No.
for now. But move made as of right now. Great move as well.
Yeah, it was indeed a great move. It was maybe a bit too aggressive, but it was fine. It was fine.
Yeah, well, at the end of the day, so long as you're not, barging the person off, if you're not picking up a penalty for it, just putting yourself in that uncomfortable position whilst it puts you in risk. If the other driver yields, that's an easy position for you. But at the end of the day, you can't do it too hard because that is going to get you in a lot of trouble.
Yeah. And yeah, so status score of the season. 1-2 for the red and yellow BMWs, with Petty up in front and Haba behind. Haba goes a bit wide for the hairpin.
Really wide, loses the rear end ever so slightly there, but he has managed to keep it all in one place. But that has allowed the Brawn to get significantly closer through that section and possibly look for an attacking move soon.
No, he goes wide in the S's. That's interesting.
Commentator's curse, told you.
Yeah, we had our share of commentators curse, and we apologize for that. I apologize on Carter's behalf.
I'm so used to causing commentators to curse, I don't even bother apologising anymore.
Yeah, and as you see, Petty leads by 3.6 seconds, actually 3.8 seconds, in a very dominant fashion, and it looks like no one will be able to overtake him unless he makes a mistake, and he is a guy who never makes mistakes, really. So it's his win to lose, basically.
Yeah, I think we've known that for some time now. He is looking in a really comfortable position. I mean, it is possible for it to go wrong, but it's going to be a human mistake. He's not got anybody in front of him, so he's not going to have any blue flag problems. It is literally just going to be the car got away from him, or he brakes slightly too late, lapse of concentration. So whilst this does seem for him a wonderful position to be in, it's one of the most stressful because you've really got to pay attention to what you're doing, because if you just mind drifts elsewhere for just one moment, all of a sudden you're in the wall and you've lost the race. It's such a horrible feeling, and you just got to keep motivated.
Yeah, you are right, and Haba, no, Haba goes off. Haba spins.
Oh, he's going round and round, and all of a sudden that podium position spins away from him as he still hasn't got any rear grip. The tyre's smoking. And what on earth happened there for him? So running up the hill through the S's, through the left-hand side, that goes all right.
He
Gets
goes on the
just
gravel.
over on the curve, on the gravel. That spits him to the left, and that spins him round as he tries to get back on the curb again. Oh, it's just gone horribly wrong for him as yeah, no. Horrible, horrible, but there you go. Just ever so slightly too far on the curb, and that's what happens.
Yeah, yeah, that's a lot of effort gone for him. He took pole, and it seemed like he had the win in the bag, but spun and then spun again. So, that's unfortunate for Hava. That's really, really unfortunate.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but at the end of the day, it spices up the grid, doesn't it? Because now all of a sudden we've got a possible, yeah, a nice battle for P3 for a swap of podiums. In fact, we were kind of expecting the same constructor to take up 2 places. We weren't quite expecting it to be this one, as the Brawn car goes very wide, trying to get the slightly better exit here down onto the main straight. Sorry, down into the S's. Doesn't quite work for him, but if he can follow it through nicely, he could still come out decently. Perhaps into the second to last corner, he could possibly go for a move, but we can clearly see he is gaining a significant amount of time. He's sort of just going up and down, isn't it? But I mean, it could be a really good fight, perhaps even on the very last lap.
Yeah, coming up to 2 laps to go, Tassi still gets closer and closer to Paint. He's not gonna go for it. He lets Paint have the line for the last corner, but Paint gets a better exit, and Jonas is even catching up. Jonas, I love had an interesting change, interesting luck throughout this race. Started horribly, got a penalty, and is now catching up to possibly get a podium. And yeah.
I mean, it's close at the moment, isn't it? They're so close to one another, Tassi and Pence. We could really see a good little fight, but the Czech driver is gaining 1.1 seconds just behind those two. We could see him enter the fight in the last lap, possibly, especially if these two take each other out. He's got an absolutely wonderful spot to be in. But he's nicely by himself as well. 3 seconds back to the next driver in P6.
Which is
I mean, it's not, yeah, which is Harbour. It's not the optimal position to be in, but it is one that he could, quite happily capitalise on a big mistake to some other drivers. But by the looks of it, that fight for P3 is fizzling out a little bit. 8/10 now, the gap. So it might be over, it might not be, but I think a mistake would probably be in order for us to get some final lap action.
Yep. And as you see, Petty comes over the final corner to start the last lap. With Lancelot behind, Pengs, and then Tassi, and then Jonas completing top 5. But Tassi gets a good exit from the last corner, and is currently gaining on Pengs. So we might see a heated battle for P3, given how Pengs has way worse tire wear than Tassi. So all that tire saving from Tassi could pay off in this lap. And Pengs does a mistake.
Big mistake. And that is going to allow the Brawn car Tassi to get through into P3, but they are still going to run side by side now down towards the hairpin. The Brawn car will have the inside line, as I think he's just going to sneak in front before
Yep.
they hit the braking zone. He has done nicely. That's Tassi
Tassi
up into
misses the breaking
P3.
point.
Slightly late on the
Oh!
braking point, gets himself sideways, and all of a sudden, all of that work has run away from him.
Yeah, and that puts Jonas in P4. He
Yeah,
might get a
I mean,
podium in the end.
you
If
never know. I mean, it's been an absolutely fantastic bit of work from Tassi to get himself up to P3. To mess it up by going slightly too late into the braking point, it's really unfortunate to see.
yeah,
But
but
that's right. That's racing.
Jonas could steal a podium potentially. um,
This could be really close, but I think to take a little look at our race winner, he has been comfortably in the lead for about half of the race, as he's just coming across the line now.
Betty
Kiss
wins.
wins.
Lancelot takes a well-deserved P2, but Panked takes a well-fought P3. Jonas P4, Tassi P5, Haba a very sad P6 after the promising qualifying. Gaben P7, Ferreira P8, and Subatomi will take the last position. Wow, what a
Wow,
race!
wow, indeed, that was an absolutely fantastic race.
Jonas
Full
had
of
a massive roller coaster.
Yeah, Jesus. I mean, if there was an ever more unpredictable race, I don't think that'd be physically possible. That just had every single high and low that we could have possibly had, and
Yeah.
it finished in almost the least dramatic point of the entire race.
Yeah, but if I may, it was you could have predicted something, and that would be Petty winning the race.
Yeah, I think out of absolutely everything, that was the only part of that that was predictable. I mean, that final finishing order is not what the championship says, but it is very well deserved from a lot of drivers to be in the places they are. Some people drove amazing races there and just took every opportunity that came their way. Fastest lap doesn't go to Petter, but in fact to his teammates. A 1:39.8,
It was
which
that
is
earlier in the
a
race.
yeah, and that was really early in the race as well. That's really good going. That would have must have been when he was up in
Yeah, it was in the
up
lead.
at the front. Yeah, it's a very good lap as well.
Yeah, and that was uh, a very beautiful race.
It was indeed.
So, uh, I really enjoyed commentating this race, along with Carter,
Yeah, it
and
was top
maybe
quality.
this, maybe this will be, the last race I'll commentate, given how the schedule says that this is my last round. I hope to do more in the future, and if this is my last round, then I'll miss commentating. Uh, so yeah, Carter, it was really fun.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly enjoyed commentating that with you. It was some really good racing as well, which always makes life so much easier. A good race means a good day in the comms. And that is exactly what we had. It's been a pleasure doing the race. And it's nice to be here. I'm really liking this.
Yeah, uh, but this was just semi-pro. Uh, the pro race will be in half an hour. The lobby will open in 6 minutes, and I will be the host again. But since I'll be racing, I'll leave the commentary to um, Webo and Louis, who are two very awesome people that I worked with in the past, and I hope that you will enjoy their commentary. So, until then, I love y'all.
Good night.
Good night. I'll see you later, I guess.
Good evening, race fans, and welcome to the Zero Evolution Championship. My name is Webbo, here to take you through tonight's proceedings, joined in the commentary box, as we have been all season long so far, by Louis. Good evening, Louis G.
Hello, Webo. Good evening, viewers. What a motor race weekend we have this weekend. Like we have the Formula One, we have a new
Absolutely.
Formula One champion, and also as I heard, you've been taking part in the Mini Le Mans yesterday.
Absolutely, yeah. We've been racing all over the world in various elements, but today we sit and enjoy the Croatian mountainside circuit of the Dragon Tail Gardens here for the next round of our championship. We can't wait to get underway for you. We've had the qualifying and race of the semi-pro. Now it's time for the pros. Now you can see how commentator Marco makes do on this circuit as well, because he's been commentating over the semi-pros. Now he's going to get to race. We are going to get underway for you very soon with qualifying, of course. And then we shall have that awesome race ready for you as well for this round 3 of the championship. Can't wait to get underway. Louis, what are you expecting to see from here? As you can see, our worldwide schedule. We have 8 rounds in total. We are at the Dragon Tail right now for round 3. We'll be heading all over the world to Brands Hatch next, and then into Monza, Road Atlanta, where I just spent a little bit of time yesterday enjoying. But this is the Dragon Tail International Raceway. It's not actually a real circuit, though we wish it was. It is 4.352 kilometers of a 3-sector circuit. It's 12 turns. We're going to go for 40 laps, 40 laps. We will have the rolling start underneath the safety car, as driven by, of course, Louis himself. But Marco Albertini, your commentator from the semi-pro, leads the championship on 25 on the previous round. Excuse me, he won the previous round from Mate Michalides from Bertalan Chocnay in 3rd place. Then we saw Macaulay in 4th as well. And here then, Louis, are your standings. We've got a very, very tight battle at the top.
That's right, Webo. And as you mentioned, it's a spectacular track. Anything can happen, and also the front of the pack is very close. Michalides, Albertini, Chocnay, and Macaulay Davy are very tightly together. I'm really looking forward to today's race.
Definitely. Well, the early runners are Michalides and, of course, Marco. But here it is, the BMW M6 GT3 Spec Series. This championship. It is the BMW iteration of this championship. 4-litre engine, of course, and then we have our slightly lower on power safety car. It doesn't need to be quite as high power for Louis to deliver the goods here and take the cars round. It is a turbo iteration of a 1500 or thereabouts kilogram weight of the BMW M4. 425 horsepower, top speed slightly higher actually of 300 kilometers an hour. But Louis, you won't be taking it all that way up to the 300 kilometer an hour.
Yeah, I am told to stick to 100. That's what I will try to.
Louis will be tempted to go any quicker at all to see.
It's not easy. It's not easy when you have all this power in your hands.
Absolutely, totally. So, ready for qualifying then. We have Maka on circuit in the black and white livery. We've got Pajor as well in that standout bright green livery as well. Underneath the tunnel section of the final straight between turns 12 and 13, where you'll also find those important penalty marker chevrons that indicate when the drivers will be racing underneath and suffering their penalties off throttle between turns 12 and 13. Turns 13 and 14 are kind of a bit of a continuous loop. 14 is almost a little bit slower. It's really, really hard actually to get turns 13 and 14 just perfect for the outright lap. We join Michalides though second in the championship and running then through into turns 2 and 3 and over the very important inside apex curb at turn 4. if you can straddle that, if you can get your axles directly across that turn 4 chicane, you get a brilliant launch all the way down to this turn 5 hairpin, which is going to be our premium overtaking opportunity down into this hairpin at the moment. Then we've got a really, really difficult technical section of the circuit. Turns 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 are a continuous 3, 4 apex right-hand section. But it's all about continuing that momentum down the hill and into this now triple, quadruple even, right-hander, where you need to nail 3 out of the 4 apexes before you can full throttle down this section, and then that short run underneath the tunnels of the third sector of the lap before this all-important double left-hander. It's really tricky to get exactly perfect as well. You need to just get that, you need to be able to wind that steering wheel ever tighter through those final 2 corners in order to get the perfect slingshot all the way out onto the main straight. Turn 1 is also tricky as you're distracted by the beautiful scenery in the background as well. Pajor is in the pits. Maka has set the fastest lap on a 1:29.7, and we continue with this qualifying session as things stand. Here we ride then with Maka at the moment, just trying to better his times if possible. And we shall see. Chogne says tactical nuke incoming, and Wilhelm says something that I can't quite understand at this stage, potentially in Polish, but it's Chogne, Michalides, Marco, Maka, Pajor, Wilhelm. Excuse me, I'm getting too excited. Sauda Adi, Hodruski, Panyahun, Toroki, and Tazi, your drivers here today, with of course Louis in the co-commentary box, sitting at the moment in the cockpit of the safety car. Louis, what are you expecting to see in this remaining few seconds? It looks like we've got our actual qualifying session about to be underway, but Louis, what are you expecting to see? Who do you think is the favourite here?
Well, definitely we have to keep an eye on Michalides and Maka, and also Marco Albertini, and I wouldn't write down Chuknya either. And don't forget, we have a couple of reserve drivers from the semi-pro series as well, in the likes of Turoci, in the likes of Tashi. Panyahun are already warmed up from the last race, so probably they can utilize that. Oops, and I exited the pit lane accidentally. But no problem.
We need to get back into the pits as soon as possible. Here is Marco with the Oriental symbol as his name on the top left. So we have to try and remember that that's Marco on the top left. He drives the black and white liveried car here. I do know that he tends to drive a distinct car at other times in other leagues, but for this league he's representing his team here, the ADAC Sim Racing team, and we shall then wait and see if he can nail this circuit. It is a tricky circuit though, Louis. Where do you think the drivers will gain the most amount of time over each other?
Well, I think there are 2 very easy overtaking points on this track, especially the turn 1, which is also quite tricky because you carry a lot of momentum into it. So if you overtake, you have to be fully committed to it. And also the hairpin in the southern part of the track after the long straight gives a very good opportunity for anybody who likes to do an overtake. But we saw on the previous race that there are quite a lot of places where you can manage.
Well, we'll see when it comes to the pros whether it's the same situation. Here is that dangerous curve of turn 4. The lead out to the long flat out section. It's not quite a straight. There is a distinct kink in the middle of this one as you break across into sector 2, and then you break slightly uphill towards the hairpin. Of course, the natural racing line is to take a very wide entry into the hairpin. However, of course, if you have a driver gaining on you down that previous flat out section, you will need to narrow off that corner because you will leave the door wide open. A series of switchbacks as well through turn 6, 7, and as we just exit 8 into 9, 10, 11, 12, the quadruple right-hander. It's a little bit of follow my leader through here, single file through this section. You may see a couple of drivers make a mistake and then try and get the slipstream up towards these final two corners of turn 13 and 14. There are two straights here at around 780 meters, maybe slightly more on the second straight, but you're never really getting quite up to top speed. So it is a tight and twisty circuit, something that the drivers need to fully appreciate here in their setup compromise. Which way would you go, Louis, in terms of setup here? Are you trying to be top speed, or are you trying to focus on the downforce and grip overall?
As you mentioned, it's a very snaky track, so I expect a lot of single filing, and that would be like the reasonable choice to be cautious and to be patient on this track and just wait for the full-on opportunities. So yeah, I would.
Absolutely. So in terms of the first laps, we have Michalides, Marco, and Chokne. As things finished, the top three from the previous round, slightly mixed up as well because Marco did win that previous round. But Michalides, Marco, Chokne is your top drivers right now, as we see Louis in the pit lane for a moment there, sitting in the cockpit, and we can see that Marco has picked up a half-second penalty. It is far more expensive than half a second though, because as he comes round, that will be completely off throttle. Usually you will see the drivers stay left if they have a penalty coming on the car, and it will affect the run into the final two corners. But for qualifying, I can see Marco will almost certainly be able to get his momentum back. This is Chokne though, a very attractive Zera Evolution team livery on the car. Looks very, very smart here. Split livery, not quite in thirds, but white and black with a yellow trim line, as he now has a look at his flying lap. And maybe, Louis, you can take us through a flying lap on board with Chokne, if we can sit on the bonnet or in the cockpit with Chokne.
As he goes second. As he goes second, and let's see how if he's able to manage to make a quicker lap through turn 1 and 2 through the chicanes. And it's, as Webo mentioned, this is very tricky and very dangerous, but he manages to get that stone between the wheels very tight, and as you can see, he's already on a purple sector, so there is something here. At the hairpin, it's a very, very tight corner.
He's pushing very hard, as he took a huge amount of apex and then had a big correction on the way out of the hairpin as well. I wonder if Chokne is pushing the envelope a little hard. Maka has slipped back into second place, demoting Marco all the way down to fourth at the moment.
Yeah, but Chokne is still in a 10th of a purple lap, so he's probably gonna make it if he doesn't make any mistake on this last few corners. But seems tight so far.
Very good up the hill here. He's got a couple of cars up ahead of him. Aren't going to affect his slipstream or his aero. You can see just a really nice line through those final two corners as Chokne sprints for the line. He was down to fourth as Marco goes pole, but will Chokne take the pole position as he crosses the line? Yes, he will, by a quarter of a second. A tremendous final sector from Chokne, gaining a further 10th and a half. He takes it into provisional pole on a 1:29.522. Marco and Michalides, we join on board now for Michalides, and let's see if he can have anything to answer as he goes to cross the line. It looks like no improvement, is it, for Michalides? No improvement indeed, and he's starting his what could be one of his final flying laps. Salda Adi with a really good lap here, as well as Pajot and Wilhelm in 6th and 7th, Panyahan in 8th. It's looking like this track, Louis, is bringing out the best in our drivers.
Yeah, it seems so. And in the meanwhile, I think I saw Maka improving as he is turning in.
Provisional pole for Maka, a 1:29.493, less than a 10th of a second in front of Chokne, and it is super, super tight at the top.
And Marco Albertini is also finishing his lap, and I think he was improving as well, but no, he is coming into the pits. So no improvement from him.
Michailidis with a small correction over through the start of sector 2 as he winds his way out of turn 8. Now you can see 3 or 4 apexes clipped on the quadruple right-hander of 9, 10, 11, 12. Uphill we go. We will brake very late into turn 13 and just bring the speed down, down, down to wind the steering in further and further through those 2 constant radius corners of 13 and 14. We sprint for the line on board with Michailidis, and he stays 4th. Will we see a faster lap yet? But it's Maka who's gone into the pits in the lead from Chokne and Marco Michailidis down into 4th position. Sauda Adi is in 5th, but in the pits, and Pajor now in that bright green nose with the Hungarian flags on the fog light area of the car. He's ready to push for his next lap. What chances do you think of Pajor getting higher up than 6th, Louis?
Well, I think, honestly, honestly, I think like that's the best he can manage this time around, because the guys in front of him. Okay, maybe Shauda Adi is not that far, but after that, the guys are just way far off, way far off. And also he has to deal with 2 Rossi behind him because he's 2/10 of a second down from him for the final laps
Pajor
of
has
the
got a
qualifying.
personal best in sector 2, but it's only 1/10 of a second better than he's managed before. He needs to try and find 7/10 of a second, would you believe? So as he goes up the hill towards the final 2 corners, he will presumably be protecting this 6th place rather than pushing to try and challenge into the top 5. It's Maka Chokne, Marco Michailidis, Sauda Adi, and then Pajor, who will improve, but by the tiniest of margins, just 43 thousandths of a second so far as we're nearing the end of qualifying. This will be the final few laps now. This is Sauda Adi coming up the hill towards the final 2 corners as well. I haven't seen his middle sector. I don't know how his lap is going, but it looks like this one might even be invalidated given the flashing red symbol on lap 6 of his.
I think it is his outlap. It is his outlap.
We shall see. It's about to tick over
for
the checkered flag. It was the outlap, so he will get the chance to run again. And it was an invalid lap on lap 6. Maka Chokne, Marco Michailidis, your top 4. And we're into the final few laps now of qualifying, final few meters of this session. Who do we join on? It's still Sauda Adi running through and heading down the second main straight here. Not quite reaching VMAX as he's heading up to 5th gear and then cycling through. In fact, he bails out of it to allow the driver behind a fair chance at their run. It's Maka, though, who holds on from a strong Hungarian field, but it's Chokne in 2nd, the Italian Marco Albertini in 3rd, and then it's all Hungarian drivers down to P8. The Polish driver Alex Wilhelm in 8th position at the moment. How much longer to go in this qualifying session, and can the drivers manage to improve here? It looks like at the moment they've set their best time.
Michailidis improved and pushed Marco to 4th.
Absolutely. So onto the clean side of the circuit, as it were, for Michailidis. Not so important in a safety car start, but Chokne is pushing. His fastest lap was lap 4 at 29.522. It's still incredibly close at the front here. 29 thousandths of a second only between the drivers. Let's see as he crosses the line, and he's got a purple first sector. Chokne has the bit between his teeth, and he is going for it here, Louis.
Yeah, no questions asked by Chokne.
Through the switchback S's of 6, 7 and 8 we go. Very difficult to get right these corners. Curb profiles are different on each exit, and now you're into the quadruple right. That's a personal best in the middle sector. It's not quite purple, but he did have a good margin to push with.
And it's still gonna be very close to Maka, who is still on a flying lap, couple corners behind Chokne, so
we will see Chokne head across the line then. He's got one more corner to go. Gets a nice apex. Well, it's difficult to tell his exit. That might have been a little bit of lag we were watching on the kart. As Chokne goes for the line, will he take pole position? Not quite. In fact, he had a really poor final sector in by his standards. It looks like Marco has picked up a penalty. He will start 4th, no higher, but Michalides is next, and he's running through the chicane at the start of the lap.
He still has a lot left. Yeah, Maka is also. Hey, Maka went for another lap, as I see.
We have Michalides with the purple first sector as well. Looks like a lot of gains being made, but are the drivers spending too much out of their tyres in that first lap, in that first sector of the lap, and have very little left? Hodruski makes a jump forward into P7. Good lap from him. That looked a little bit scrappy from Michalides. He's still a personal best time, but he needs to gain more than this than he currently has. This final sector, all important for Michalides. Can he get himself up onto the front row? It's going to be very, very tight with Chokne. He needs to nail these final 2 corners. He's got to get it absolutely perfect. You can see just that little toe hook on the front, just spoiling the aero balance of this BMW M Series GT3 as we run towards the line from Michalides. Will he get up to the front row? Not quite, and it's even closer as Maka takes a better time, potentially 11 thousandths of a second. 129.493 for Maka at the moment. He's about to finish his lap out. His fastest lap was lap 4. This is his 9th lap in qualifying for Maka. No improvement. Here is Chokne then.
But this is the final lap.
Exactly. Final lap for the drivers.
Chokne has a purple sector.
Sauda Adi does not improve this time round. We look for Chokne. As he enters that switchback section. It's the short run between turns 8 and 9 that finishes sector 2. Coming up after this corner to car number 6.
Purple is gone.
Oh, it's so close. It is incredibly close between the two.
The first three is within a 1/10 of a second. It's that close.
Absolutely. Here comes Chokne then, defending second place from Michalides. Trying to get just 11 thousandths of a second to get himself up onto pole. It's a big, big ask though, as the margins get tighter. Pajot sets a new personal best at 29.9. But here comes Chokne for the lead, and he takes the pole position by 1/10 of a second. A big improvement in that final sector. Here is Maka coming out of the final corner. I haven't seen his previous sectors. It will be a surprise as we go across the grid hatchings, across the line for Maka. It's not any better. Maka is in second. Michalides in third at the moment. Sauda Adi is in 5th position, drifting his way through that final corner. That's not the quick way to drive. Looks like it's Chokne tonight as Sauda Adi tries to secure a higher position. He gets 5th. Then we go to Pajot. Hodruski in 7th. No improvement. Tarossi in 8th comes across the line. Will he improve this time out? It looks like not quite, but it's a fantastic pole position then for Chokne at this stage, with Panyahan trying to run through in 10th. But Chokne, that's a bit of a surprise, Louis. A great performance from him.
Chokne saved the best for the last lap of this qualifying. Masterful.
Fantastic. And in this Hungarian league, it's Hungary 1-3, 5-6-7-8, with just interrupted by the British driver Maka and the Italian of Marco in 4th. Tremendous performance here.
Don't forget the Polish guy. Night. It's not all.
Don't forget the Pole
Hungarian.
in 8th. No, we need the pole on pole to make it a proper proper announcement here. But yeah, let's look at the top 8 at the moment. We'll give you your full qualifying results shortly. But we look for Chokne here with his parade lap at the moment. His flashing lights on right now.
Rubbing
We're in-
into the faces of everyone very slowly, coming around.
Yeah, he's taking his
Chokne
time for
shows everyone's place around the track.
sure. Chokne, though, in third position in the title battle, he's had a 4th place and a 3rd place so far. Can he go that 1 or 2 places better and secure a win or a 2nd place out of this run? It's Chokne on a 29.383, taking a convincing lead in the end from Maka, a 29.493, over a 10th of a second away. Michalides in 3rd. We've got Marco sitting in 4th place right now as well. Marco currently in 2nd in the championship by 1 point only from Michalides. Then is Sauda Adi, Pajot Hodruski, and Turoxi in 8th position on a 30.3. Wilhelm on a 30.4 from Panyahan Tazi in 11th position. We have 11 drivers for you, plus Louis in the safety car, and we'll have the race for you coming up very, very soon. But really good performances there, bringing Louis those qualifying times incredibly tight.
Yes, and I'm pretty sure Maka, Michalides, and Marco Albertini will gonna have a few words about that first place with Chucky. But here we are, looking forward to this next
Here we
40
are
laps.
indeed. So it's Chokne, it's Maka, Michalides, and Marco, kind of in reverse setup from their championship positions with their teammates. We will wait for the lights to go out. Then Louis will find his way past all the drivers and take them as the safety car driver all the way through the lap to prepare the cars for this 40 lap. It will be 39 racing laps in total through this round 2 of the championship. Coming up after this one, we go to Brands Hatch, then to Monza, Road Atlanta, and the Nürburgring for the final round 7 of the championship. Last minute instructions now coming in for the drivers from race control. Ballas in the steward race controller seat, just directing traffic here. You can see we've got Marco and Maka on the same liveries, racing for the same team as we run through our riders. Chokne on the pole position at the moment in the beautiful Zero car, followed by the ADAC team. Leader today of Maka in the championship, it's Marco. Run through all the drivers. At the rear of the field is the kind of dark red coloured driver of Turoxi. I'll try and get that pronounced correctly by the end of the evening. We have Louis in the safety car just at his maximum speed now, taking them through. He's gone through sector 1. He's almost done with sector 2. And then he will peel into the pits, and Chokne will become the new safety car. He gets to decide then when to restart the race and when to launch. Instructions coming in from race control. We sit here, of course, from the perspective of race control, and we then wait for Chokne to take us in. Instruction there to line up in double file for the drivers. Underneath the bridge they go, and then I expect Chokne to slow the cars at the moment. He has an anime girl on his rear window for good luck. We have Maka alongside on the outside through the first few corners here, and we cycle through the grid. Looks like Turoxi was that racing in yellow. Tazi in the purpley maroon coloured BMW at the rear of the field, but it's Chokne then to take us to start our 39 lap race in total, and he will go when he decides it's ready to go. He's getting
Let's
ready
go.
to launch this one. We've got the green light. They've got the instruction to go, and they will launch now away from the start. It's Chokne from Maka, Salda Adi, and Marco at this stage. Salda Adi with a good launch right now, but down into turn 1 they go. This tends to sort out the drivers ahead of the all-important chicane for the lead into the hairpin, and running through in order. Nicely behaved they are so far in this early start of the lap, but some drivers getting it wrong across that turn 4, and several drivers just switching back, trying to wrestle control underneath their cold tyre driven car. Chokne is being challenged though by Maka down into the hairpin. Maka going in car 27 for the full run. Chokne with the switchback. They'll be level as they head towards the all-important turn 6 and the start of the switchbacks. Will they continue left and right? Yes, indeed they will, fully alongside each other. No contact yet, but it looks like it's Chokne who's going to hold on to the lead, and that was super tight as his teammate Salda Adi moves up to 3rd and will get into the mix here. Tremendous stuff, but Louis, what have you watched from towards the rear of the race so far?
For me, it seemed pretty clear at the start. Maybe there were a little bit of argy-bargy around Kolos, Wodruski and Tashi at the back, but otherwise it was a clean start.
Tremendous stuff from throughout the circuit. Salda Adi though with a great start. Marco down into 5th position. Michailidis in 4th. We'll have a look at tyre choice coming up once we get the full details on the screen after these first few laps. But it's Wilhelm who's trying to get his nose ahead here. Down in the tail end of the field, they are fighting super hard, but at the front of the field, it's Chokne by 0.6 of a second, I think, from Maka and Salda Adi. Then comes Michailidis and Marco, your current championship challengers right now, down into 4th and 5th positions. Looks like we might have an unusual podium here on our hands at this stage, but I wait to see, Louis, who's got the tyre choice correct today.
Well, it's kind of early, I think, but it seems everybody is on the soft. That's surprising. So yeah.
Well, it makes our life a little bit easier if everyone's on the same tyres. As Chokne, we get a replay of Chokne's start here, down into turn 1. Perfect start here, Louis, from Chokne.
Yeah, I told you to watch out for him because so far I think he hasn't won not even a qualifying so far, but it seems it's his time to shine today. I'm looking forward.
Very good. Away from the start, this I believe was Chokne's teammate. This was Salda Adi timing that restart amazingly. It's almost as if they're in a party chat here, and Chokne told him when he was gonna go.
Great reflexes anyway from Salda Adi.
It was very good. So straight up to 3rd position here, and he can play a very important role if he can challenge Maka and make this a 1-2 for the Zera Esport team drivers. Car number 6 is in the lead from Maka in car number 27 from the 8X Sim Racing Sport team. Salda Adi, Michailidis, then down to see Marco in 5th. Now, do keep a close eye on Marco because he plays a very canny game here and brings his top speed and his best lap times towards the end of his stints. He protects his tyres incredibly well, Louis, and it paid off last time out.
Yeah, and there are a couple of drivers who can do the tire magic and fuel magic with their management throughout the race. So I'm expecting, especially Michailidis, to pull some trick out of his hat. Maybe he's already
through the drivers, and we can confirm everybody, it seems, on soft tyres. They do have to change tyres. We've got a glitch there. We're not expecting Peugeot to have to refuel at this stage, but they're already burning through the fuel. It's down into the start of lap 4, the official lap 4, as the helicopter follows the drivers down, and Peugeot gets a personal best at the end of that lap. It's Chokne, Maka, Salda Adi, and Michailidis from Marco in 5th. Pajor in 6th and staying with the leaders. Does that surprise you a little bit, Louis, as Pajor is putting in a good performance right now?
Yeah, definitely. It's a surprisingly good performance of him, and I'm happy to see a new contender among the big guys. And also, I realized that there are some damage, some cars with damage on the field. Especially Turoci has a damaged front, and Alex, I think it was Alex, who has a damaged back of the car. So I mean, the
Well, that's
evidence
suspicious
shows.
in itself, isn't it? I imagine the two of them came together.
Yeah, probably,
Here is
probably.
Alex Wilhelm being chased by the bright yellow Hodruski's car. Hodruski in car 23, and you can see the difficulty that Wilhelm is having. He might be able to get a small repair done at the pit stop, but at the moment, the soft tyres, it'll be a little bit of time yet before those soft tyres need to be exchanged. I anticipate here, given that it's a short circuit, Louis, that we'll be seeing the soft and the medium tyre only. I don't think anyone will be trying out the hard tyre here at this short circuit. Down to the inside, looks Hodruski into the corner, doesn't quite make it, but you can see the better grip he has at this stage. Alex Wilhelm, the big snap on the rear, and he's struggling at this stage.
Yeah. I'm curious if the guys with damage will repair their damage at the box or at the pit period, because uh, it takes time. And I'm thinking, like, is it that bad? Is it that bad? Because that's why it is worth watch Alex's pace. Because if it's not that bad, if it doesn't hold him that bad, then maybe they can just leave the damaged parts.
Driving down the inside goes Hodruski down to the hairpin, but Wilhelm leaves the gap at the apex. Looks like Hodruski has got the inside line. They'll turn left first before they then go right again. They're still side by side. Both drivers leaving a good amount of space here. It looked a little bit tight there at the exit of the previous corner, but Hodruski finds his way through. That was a very, very patient and very sporting exchange between the two, Louis. I think
Yes.
very, very good and fair racing.
Yes, both of them gets the sportsmanship, the blue sportsmanship arrow. What you get on daily races when you are playing online. Both managed to
Exactly.
kill
Let's
one
see
touch.
that again then, Louis. Talk us through this battle between the two of them.
I mean, come on, just look at that, like side by side through 3 or 4 corners already. And this is I shouted out, it's very dangerous, because if Wilhelm went a little bit more outside on that curve, he would be already across the road. But nice and clean racing by both of these guys.
Absolutely. We go back to live coverage as we see Maka and then Sauda Adi with Michaelides. A little gap away here from Sauda Ali. Now, Michaelides and Marco, it might be too early to be thinking about the championship and delivering consistent performances, but I expect the two of them to be impatient to get near the front of the circuit. They certainly don't want to see Chokne and Maka get too far away. Chokne is not far away in the championship. On 27. Maka and Chokne on equal points in third position. And so Michaelides and Marco, both of them interested, I think, here to try and make sure that it's just those two in the championship race. It gets very complicated when you get 3 or 4 drivers in a championship battle.
Yeah, and when we are very early in this season so far, so anything can happen, but we can clearly see the main 4 contenders are already showing. Coincidentally,
Well, just to underline then that Sauda Adi currently down in what is that? I think P8 in the championship, and he's really showing incredibly well here, holding his own here on the same tyre compound as all the drivers. So I think we will get very, very similar stints and pit stop cycles. What do you expect? How soon can the drivers pit for those medium tyres, do you think? Would it be as early, for instance, as lap 13 or 14 that we will see drivers pit onto the mediums?
Conveniently, you were talking about Shada Adi, and his tires are already at about 50% condition. So I'm expecting him to be the first who pits of the top
Tazi gets a
goers.
good move on Panyahan here. Tazi moving forward, and as you said, he's reserving from the semi-pro class. He's got game over written on his rear wing as he makes an overtake. That's very demoralizing there for Panyahan to be reading game over in
Emotional
front of him.
damage.
Yes, absolutely emotional damage from Stephen E. And he moves forward beautifully. It's Chukne, Maka, Salda Adi, Michalides, and then we ride here with Marco to anticipate those first pit stops. Marco can see the lead of the race, 5.3 seconds up the road. It's getting away from him at this stage, but we do know that Marco is very Alain Prost-like in the way that he brings the car into contention towards the very end of a race. He's got a very smart head on his shoulders. Plus, I think, Louis, he has the advantage of watching carefully the semi-pro race beforehand.
Yeah, and hopefully Shada Adi is not Ayrton Senna like, and if he catches up,
Yeah.
they can probably manage to keep it clean. But Maka has a half a second penalty as we
Definitely.
speak, so maybe
There
we
he
will
is.
see a little bit closer fight between the two of them.
There's Maka. The Chukne will get further away. You'll see that gap stretch beyond the half a second, of course, because that is just half a second without using the throttle, and that can cost a great deal more. It's not as expensive on this circuit as we see elsewhere, but it is a tight and twisty, difficult circuit to get exactly right. It's one of my favorites personally. I do enjoy this one. I really like the rhythm of this circuit, Louis. Is it one of your favorites?
Yeah, once you get the flow, this track can be very enjoyable. Before the stream, we were talking about that. I have been that slow once in this track that I could find the rave party at one of the corners. I don't remember anymore, but there is a rave party. I think at the last at the last hairpin before the main straight, there was a rave party going on. And also, like, look around, the scenery is fascinating.
Yeah, it's too much of a distraction, I think, for our drivers.
Yeah.
Beautiful trees, beautiful mountains, beachside, seaside location as well. It is a tremendous place. I mean, Croatia is a beautiful country anyway, but they have chosen a fantastic location here for this track. It is a tremendous design here. Love to see Gran Turismo kind of force tracks into existence. I know that the Deep Forest Raceway, someone has found where that Deep Forest Raceway is based on, and it wouldn't surprise me if Dragon Tail Gardens is the same. They've actually found a location to run it. I remember
I'm pretty sure
the previous
they took
iteration of Gran
inspiration.
Turismo where you had you had the Sardinia racetrack as well, and that was a fantastic place to race.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there is some kind of similar racetrack in existence in Croatia, and the developers took inspiration.
Salda Adi with a small mistake in those difficult final two corners allows potentially, who is that coming through? It is
Michalides.
Michalides? It is
Yes.
Michalides. So Michalides up to third position now. Marco kind of allowing the podium to get away from him at this stage, but we know Marco gets quicker and quicker through his stint. We are 11 laps deep into the soft tyre run here. I anticipate the drivers will start to think about pitting fairly soon, and the sooner the better in terms of tyre wear. As you can see, Marco, his left-hand tyres are the most limited here, because we turn to the left most often, but the fastest corners on the circuit seem to be taking a lot out of the right-hand tyres here tonight. So Michalides in third in the yellow-nosed ROH car. And is running incredibly well at the moment in the race and in the championship, leading the championship by a single point with a win and a second place. He's running third right now, but only 5.0 seconds away from the lead of Chokne who is able to run his own pace at this stage. And I wonder how much he's managing the pace right now, Louis.
And Bertocogna seems incredibly consistent in the lead, like within couple tenths every lap since lap 4. It's incredible. And Shadadi's tires are right front tires are practically non-existent at this point. I wouldn't be surprised if the
This
next
is the
lap.
problem we see when we see drivers driving among drivers. They don't tend to be challenging. We suddenly see that they're using their tires a lot more. Here is Marco then coming up behind Sauda Adi. Will Marco get his nose ahead shortly? He's going through the chicane. He needs a good exit out of turn 4, and he's unsighted. He's so close to Sauda Adi's rear that he doesn't quite calculate that turn 4 correctly, loses a lot of slipstream and traction coming out of turn 4, and kind of gives up his opportunity here to take the place down into the hairpin. We'll have to be patient here and wait for the next opportunity.
Or just wait until Adi pits at the end of this lap, because I would be very surprised if he goes through for another lap, because clearly he's losing out like half a second every lap since Michaelides passed him. I think he would hit better.
With his scrubbed the tyres in a big way. He's had to use those tyres to stay with the leaders of the championship at this stage. We'll keep a close eye on him, see if he decides to go into the pits shortly. But at the moment, it is Marco in the ADAC colours, black and white.
He's out.
And
Adi
stays out indeed. So Marco will try and use the slipstream here. He does seem to be losing out in terms of top speed slightly from Sauda Adi. I saw no major mistake coming out of the final corner, turn 14, but he lost a few meters as they head into turn 1. So Marco is going to have to find a new tactic here to get through, or just pile the pressure on Sauda Adi. Because right now, Michaelides, his main championship rival, is getting away from him as Sauda Adi weaves to the inside of the circuit. He can do that once, of course, under racing rules. He's going to hold the inside line down for the hairpin. Marco looking for a switchback or a drive all the way around the outside. Tremendous work. Sauda Adi expecting to stop the car at the apex. And Marco says, well, if you're going to do that, I'll go all the way around the outside. Brilliant stuff from Marco.
Yeah, nice racing. And now he's off to chase Michaelides. I'm very curious if he can close the gap. The 2.5 seconds between them.
Now, the classic defense there that Sauda Adi was trying was to defend the switchback move, but Marco dummied the switchback and just went all the way around the outside and just had that extra grip. He's protected those tyres, as he often does, and then he's got that extra little bit of grip around the outside. And as soon as you find yourself on the outside around that hairpin, you've got the best grip exit where the racing line hits. Here comes Sauda Adi, perhaps a lap too late, you think, maybe, Louis?
Yeah, I think so. It's just one lap too late. He was too strict to the plan. I'm pretty sure. I know Choknyai is mentoring Sauda Adi privately, so he's like a personal coach to him, and I'm pretty sure they came up with a plan with a strict strategy, and Adi just didn't want to change that. Hence,
yeah, you can understand why you would want to stick to the plan, especially if you have a very quick mentor telling you what to do. But there's also the element of racing knowledge and being able to react to how things are feeling in the moment. We need that additional bit of flexibility to know that while the mediums can last one lap much more easily than the soft tyres can. As we run down through the tail end of the order, Sauda Adi has come out into 7th. We've got Wilhelm in front, Pajor behind. And did you say Sauda Adi has come out on softs again?
Yes. Softs from softs, and also Pajor, who pitted the same lap as him, and he is right behind him. Has also gone softs from softs. So interesting
tactics. So he has to pit again then, we know, due to the racing rules. Pit stop for Chokne. Yeah, he's gone into the pits. Will we see a similar pit stop pattern here? And Maka, Michalides, Marco deciding to run onto the medium tyres. We'll keep a really close eye on what Chocnay decides to do in the pit lane. But at the moment, Wilhelm, with damage on the rear of the car, struggling to defend here on his old softs from the new softs of Sauda Adi as he comes down the inside. Sauda Adi into turn 1. Should have the move done quite significantly. Does so through
That's
turn
off
1.
the track on the meanwhile. Oh my god, he just threw second place. Also has damage. Oh, if we
Wow,
can
we
show it
hope
on
to
replay.
catch that up onto a replay, but Michalides then down into third position exactly. Here he is. Wow, spinning 360 across the grass. What happened to Michalides, I wonder? It's going over the
Was it
turn
the
4, and he's ended up just overcorrecting coming out of turn 4. A full 360, goes lawn mowing and rejoins the circuit comfortably, but down into third place. He did make contact with that barrier as well.
Yes, and the heavy damage is on, so and it seems worse than Habas and Alex Wilhelm is also. Just now I wanted to highlight the tire magic Michalides has been doing this race, because 2 laps ago people had to pit because of their tires, and Michalides has still like 4 or 5 laps in their front right tires compared to them, but that's all up in smoke now.
Absolutely, yeah. As he makes that
was a
mistake, into the
costly
pits comes Michalides. Marco, Maka, Chocnay still not pitting at this stage, so they have been able to perform that tire magic. Unfortunately, Michalides did that full 360 and will have caused his own problems. Maka is in the lead of the race from Marco. It is ADAC Stillung Sport, the team at the head of this group at the moment, doing a great job and currently in a really good position. You can see Sauda Adi in 4th place now, waiting for the pit stops from the cars in front, but 22 seconds away from the lead. Sauda Adi is putting in some really good lap times here on his 30.3 on his first flying lap out of the pits. This is something special from Sauda Adi.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure he knows about the accident of Michalides, so he can be in the zone now and just focus.
Michalides as well has come out in traffic between
He's also
Hodriski
on
and
mediums,
Pazzi.
and he's
Okay, he's doing the classic one stop here. Classic one stop strategy for Michalides in 8th position at the moment. He should be still within a shout of the podium, but it may be that spin has meant that the win gets away from him. Maka and Marco for the WRT ADAC Racing Team Colours teams. They are currently in 1st and 2nd and in a really good position. Chocnay, I believe, has pitted. He's in 3rd place right now.
Yeah.
And I just need to double check Chocnay's tyres. I think he did the same and is on the soft tyres. So he's running 2 stints on the softs.
Exactly.
Michalides on the mediums and is running on the slower side. Yeah, there's confirmation from race director. Soft tyres for Chocnay, and Marco's still waiting to pit here. Surely those tyres are past their best. That front right looking pretty worse for wear here. But if you can do a quick sprint with half a tank of fuel on the soft tyres, then it does give you that ultimate pace. And we saw the fastest laps so far of the race from Sauda Adi on the lightest fuel on brand new soft tyres. So maybe they're onto something here. I do think Michalides and Marco's race pace quality will come to the fore ultimately, but Chocnay and Sauda Adi working together to plot the strategy for a soft medium approach.
Interesting, but I'm pretty sure Maka and Marco will both use the mediums, because like we are essentially almost at the halfway of the race. So if the softs could last this long, the mediums would easily do the same.
Yeah, I definitely think amazing performance from Maka and Marco to ignore the pace of Chocnay on the soft tyres and run their own race at the pace that they have calculated the lap times that they know they can make those soft tyres last. So the gap then for Chokne is 10.9 seconds to the lead, 19.3 for Sauda Adi. They will take the lead of this race, but we know they have to pit again for their mandatory tyre change. Is the race, though, run much better on soft tyres for 80% of the race than soft tyres for 45% of the race that effectively Maka and Marco will run? This is the fascinating battle with the tyre strategy tonight.
And that's $1 million question. But I love the fact that we have this strategic master class and like trying to outsmart the others, and also the teamwork, as you can see, like Maka and Marco as a team, and Choknyai and Shadi as another team are trying to work as a team and outsmart the other team as well.
What fascinates me a little bit here is that you've got the teams convinced that they each are absolutely right. Maka goes through with a completely red front right tyre. Marco is slightly better on his tyre wear, but Maka goes past the pit lane to start lap 18 and he has a completely red tyre. Now, how on earth can he expect to compete with Chokne and Sauda Adi on their tyres?
Almost lose it. If we can ask race direction to rewatch this moment.
Maka is going to be leaning on that front right as he goes through turn 1, most especially. It is the longest left-hander, that front right. Let's see. Oh, and a massive snap, and he just rescues it, perhaps leaning just too much on that tyre. But what fascinates me here is that Louis, drivers generally, if they're at all unsure about their strategy, they will split the strategy between their teammates. One will have the optimal strategy, one will have the reserve strategy, but both teams have doubled down on their strategies. We've got a full four-wheel drift happening on the circuit at the same time from Maka. How is he holding on to this?
If I were him, like I wouldn't push this hard with these tires because it's extremely dangerous what he's doing right now. But he manages to finish the lap and
he's going to have to take it very steady to avoid the wall on the way into the final 2 corners as well. Surely now Maka with a code brown in the cockpit as he goes through. Surely he's into the pits. He is. What does Marco do? Is he late into the pits as well? I think so. Marco too in the pits at the end of lap 19. So they've run almost half distance on that single set of soft tyres. Surely now medium tyres on and a top up of fuel to about 3/4 levels of the fuel, I imagine. No, Maka has gone onto soft tyres, has he? Let's see as he comes out. Now, why would you run, Louis, that marginal on tyre usage if you're going to put softs on for the second time?
And Marco did the same. The same. So, in the meanwhile, they got convinced by Choknyai and Shada Adi that this is the right choice. And as we speak, Choknyai sets the fastest lap of the race just now to send a message to the other
back
team.
To advantage Chokne and Sauda Adi. The only way that strategy worked for me is if they were putting the medium tyres on and saved a pit stop. Definitely. How on earth are they going to rescue this race now, Maka and Marco?
It's up to them to show us what was the thinking behind this, because this was very I don't want to hurt especially Marco, but that was very Ferrari-like strategy this time.
Yes, that is double insult for Marco there as the Italian Tifosi driver there to reference Ferrari strategic gambles. Chokne and Sauda Adi with the home field advantage here for the Hungarian League of Zero Evolution Championship. This is the BMW season and we're only into round 3 right now, but Chokne and Sauda Adi with a surprise 1-2 at this stage. Now, when do they decide to pit here? How much fuel goes into the car? I can see Chokne and Sauda Adi running those tyres back down to canvas onto completely empty fuel tanks. But what can Maka and Marco do? Pajor has gone into 4th. And don't forget about Michalides. who has saved a
that's what I
pit
wanted
stop
to
here.
say.
Michalides, we need to see his gap to the leader at the moment as well, and see if he is within range of that pit stop onto medium tyres and refueling that the front runners have got to do.
He's 22 seconds
Oh,
from the lead.
oh, Maka. Bull swap round. 23 was that, Louis, from the lead for
Yes,
Michalides.
22, 23, around 20, yeah, sometime around that. But what I realize is that the fuel is going to be an issue of also for Michaelidas if he doesn't want to stop, because he has less than half a tank. So for the rest of the 20 laps of the race, so like it's going to be a real balancing act from Michaelidas if he can manage to get a podium this race.
Yeah, it's so difficult as a race driver to see the cars in front stretching away from you and not want to keep up with their
Yeah.
pace. But he needs to monitor that fuel usage. He needs to be lifting and coasting, especially up the hill here into turn 13 and 14 and down into turn 5, the hairpin. He needs to be saving as much fuel as he possibly can to still keep those lap times coming through. Look at the consistency though, the last few laps. 1:31.5. 1:31.3, 1:30.8, a quick lap on lap 22, lap 21. He's been very, very quick, but Chogne is running a good 2 seconds on average faster at this stage, Louis.
Yeah, that's every lap, 2 seconds. That seems a lot, but don't forget, Chogne still has to pit once. And I was thinking, and what if Maka and Marco are gonna do just one lap on the mediums in the end?
Yes.
That seems the only reasonable choice at this point, because Chokonye and Adi are on the halfway on their second stint. Shada Adi has already gone. Shada Adi has already used his right front tires already in this stint
He
also.
has
So
been very aggressive on his tyre use today, Shouda Adi. He's been working
he's pushing.
incredibly hard on that tyre. There you can see, you're really pushing. He's got Maka right behind him now as well. This is a battle for position, of course. They're on the same strategy, and a penalty on the car for Shouda Adi. He peels to the towards the pit lane, doesn't quite go into the pits, and now Maka with a slipstream looking for the inside line. It's very difficult to make the outside line work here around turn 1 at least. He looks for the switchback. He's got the inside line going into turn 2. That's an expert move there from Maka into second place now. And like I say, these top 3 and 5th position cars all on the same strategy, so fighting hard. And we're going to see this one again then, Louis.
Yeah, it is worth a watch. I could just sense it. How is it? How do they say? Licks the stump and sends it. That's
Exactly. Absolutely. Danny Rick style, licking that stump. Yeah, but he set it up all the way down out of the final 2 corners through turn 1, and then into turn 2. Made the move stick, and he's got good pace right now, and he's hunting down Chogne. Just 1.1 seconds, I think. Well, where is Maka? He is 13 seconds. Chogne's pace has been electric tonight. Pajor looking really good as well, but he's done double soft stint here. Don't forget about Michalides, and what is Hodruski riding on right now as well, because he's been running very well. So Hodruski on softs.
Only man on the field is Michalides, who is on mediums. Turozzi also already gave up the race, as far as I
wonder what Michalides is feeling on board, because he's thinking, I'm really slow compared to the rest of the drivers. They must be on softs. Can I make this work? Really, really tricky balancing act here for Michalides, as Marco is looking at Pajor. Pajor defending hard. Marco going for the move around the outside of turn 2, becomes the inside into turn 3. Really brave stuff from both drivers and very well driven. Marco then tucks back into the slipstream behind Shouda Adi and looking at his teammate Maka and trying to follow him forward as well. Here goes Marco. Looks to the outside all the way round. Tremendous move here. I don't think I've seen that one before. Really, really clever.
And he's already at the back of Shada Adi. And he's already through Shaldadi by the time I finish the sentence.
Amazing. So
Marco,
Marco
up in
deciding
third.
now it's hammer time now for Marco, surely.
It is.
Slight mistake maybe from Shelda Adi running wide, but we've looked at his tyres and he's going to have to change tyres very soon. Marco
Yeah, huge.
with a little bit of
Huge
tyre wear
tire
left
difference.
in that in those soft tyres. It's going to be pit stop for mediums to see the last few laps of this race out for the front 5 of the race. From front 6 of the race, even with Hodruski, and then Michalides will come back towards the lead of the race at the end. Someone was off the circuit there. Who was that, I wonder? Looks like Wilhelm, who's been struggling to hold on to his car.
Yeah, and he has damage again.
What happened to Wilhelm? So coming on through turn 8, just a snap of oversteer and clatters the wall on the rear side. He needs to hit the front of that car and even up the balance a little bit, but he's damaged the right rear tire as well. He's left the room. It looks like Alex Wilhelm has retired. He's tired of driving that car at that speed and under the amount of damage. But Chokne, wow, what a performance so far! 12.7 seconds his lead.
Am I seeing that right? That he had 2 laps down to the 1000 seconds. It's the same pace. Lap 23
Yeah, exactly.
and 24.
It is looking tremendously good for Chokne. What a performance here in the Dragontail Gardens configuration. I wonder if I can't remember now what layout of Brands Hatch we're running. If we're running the Grand Prix or the Indy circuit, because Brands Hatch will be a very tight, twisty circuit regardless, and that might favour Chokne as well. He's taking a big step towards challenging for this championship here with these technical circuit fantastic performances. Monza might be more of a struggle, but we shall see as things move forward. Maybe Chokne has found something in setup or in practice with his driving here in the BMW, and he's just getting better and better through the season. It's going to be absolutely fascinating to see. Make sure you tune in to each of our rounds. That will be the 15th of October next week at Brands Hatch. Then we'll have a break until the 12th of November in Monza, 19th of November in Road Atlanta, finishing on the 26th of November at the Nürburgring. I think that's the Grand Prix circuit. Yes, the Nürburgring Grand Prix circuit we go to. Here is Pajot being passed by Sauda. Adi just defending hard. Pajot is right on his tail.
And there are no tires left on Shada. It is right front wheel anymore.
We need a race engineer for that team, for Shauda Adi to say, Shauda, it's time to pit, dude. You know, you really are pushing it too hard on these tires. Surely now it's time to come in for the remaining 14 laps of the race on the medium tire. Refuel for a short amount, and finish the race strong. But right now, really chewing through those tires, and he runs wide in the gap between turns 13 and 14. He might even struggle to get across the racetrack into the pit lane, but Pajot pits with him as well, so they're both on the same strategy. In comes Pajot, in comes Shauda Adi. That promotes Michalides, all importantly, up to 5th. Can Michalides get himself towards the podium, even possibly the win here on the one-stop strategy?
I doubt a win will be achievable for him, but maybe a podium if the rest are holding each other up after the last runs of the pits. And Chokne is also eating up his tires. Maybe one more lap he can go. But Maka and Marco are very comfortable with their pace and with their tires as well now, so I'm curious how it will turn out.
Absolutely. Well, Chokne has 13 laps to go. He's running out of front right tyre grip. Might get one more lap. Might decide though that his ultimate race pace is better pitting, but he's going to run another lap here. Maka
Short bodies on soft
on.
again.
Maka stopped really. What? You're kidding me?
No, and I think this is a mistake at this point. I don't think this was intentional.
Absolutely. No, sometimes the drivers make a mistake with their tyre selection, but he's gone for a soft medium strategy, which I don't think I've ever seen work for any driver. But we shall see if I imagine Chokpe will do the sensible thing now and pit.
Ah, okay.
So we've just had information from race control that the medium tyre is not mandatory today, and that's why we're seeing so many
All right.
drivers add extra soft tyres. We didn't attend the race briefing properly or listen in properly there, Luis. So,
I
so
was
we have
making
made a big mistake here.
sorry. But yeah,
We're just making assumptions. Yeah.
yeah. So sorry everybody about the misinformation. But that sheds a whole new light on this race for the last half for the race.
Absolutely. Michalides is trying to run the I guess the tortoise strategy from the hare strategy around him, who are the drivers trying to run soft tires, and Michalides trying to use the mediums as much as possible. Nearly 26 seconds Michalides gap to the lead. Chokne pits now though, and that will bring Michalides right into contention after being 26 seconds away. That's got to bring Michalides close to Chokne's here pace. And here he is coming out of the final corner. It looks like Chokne is going to struggle to get out in front of Michalides, but he'll be out on soft tyres. He'll be out on fresh fuel. We know Michalides has some work to do to bring this car home. Chokne has got out in front, so a quick splash and dash for the remaining 11 laps of the race on new soft tyres. So Michalides, this hasn't worked out perfectly so far. He's got a lot of work still to do.
Yeah, Chokonya got a comfortable lead of 5 seconds in front of him with a new fresh set of soft tires. So I think the danger averted for Choknyai.
Danger averted. I think Michalides still has a chance of second or third position here today. There you can see the gap at the moment. That's Michalides in the background. But we will still expect then Maka and Marco to pit again after shredding through those soft tyres. Chokne is pushing hard. Harder than he needs to maybe at the moment, Louis.
Well, does he think that Marco and Maka are just gonna go non-stop for the rest of this 10 laps? Which might be the case.
They did stop after Chokne and Shauda Ari, so that is a good idea. Effectively, three stopping Chokne to the 2 stopping Maka and Marco. He'll try and close up now. We'll get an update on their tyres shortly from Maka and Marco. We know that they ran them quite kindly through their first stint.
Manageable by the looks of it. Both of them are at the end. 50% of their tire life, so 10 laps to go. That's gonna
As the
be
fuel burns off, it will be less of less punishing on the tyres. Now, of course, their target is clear, is to stay in front of Chokne. They don't have to push too hard. They just need to hold track position. It's a very different strategy here for the drivers. This is Panyahunt, who is in 9th position right now. Panyahunt has not had the best of season so far, scoring 1 single point at the moment in round 1, 0 pointing round 2. So he's looking to try and improve here.
But he's also a semi-pro.
And a semi-pro driver indeed. So he is outperforming his rating here. Here is Marco, but he's only 4.9 seconds in front of Chokne. As Chokne is catching very quickly now, I think. The front two down to 9 seconds with 10 laps to go. That's a really difficult target for Chokne.
But he can see it decreasing, so that's like a red flag. red cloth for a bull, because he can see that
Yes.
it's like very slowly, very like in a minute way, but it is decreasing. It is definitely decreasing. 2 tenths of a second in the first sector, only towards Marco.
He
So
needs to be targeting around 6 or 7 tenths of a second at this stage, while the tyre difference is really strong. That's a purple middle sector for Chocnay, doing everything he can here to try and catch those two at the front. Of course, Marco can do the favours to his teammate Maka and make life difficult for Chocnay to make the overtake, and that could end up bringing the win to the team. It's going to be fascinating to see. Can Team WRT secure a 1-2? Can they get a double podium? But at the moment, Chocnay is driving the wheels off this BMW, this zero acceleration liveried BMW, and he can now see his target clear as day as they head up towards turn 13 and 14 to finish the lap.
and I think Michaelides is not not aiming for that podium anymore. He's 10 seconds off from Chocnay at this point. So, and this distance is just gonna increase till the end of the race.
Yeah, and he's got to limp home on low fuel as well. I don't think this strategy has worked out. We made the assumption, as normal, that the medium tyre was mandatory. Of course, we should have listened and read the race briefing,
Yeah, or at least
and
ask.
understood that it was not here.
Yeah.
So we would have perhaps been able to look at the difference in performance earlier on and see that the soft tyre was performing so much better than the mediums. It looked like, though, Michaelides was going for a one-stop to undercut the drivers, but at the moment, so far, it looks like the soft tyre is the only tyre of choice around this Dragontail Gardens circuit. Round 3 of the Zero Evolution Championship. Here is Chocnay, now 2.1 seconds away from Marco and reeling in those WRT drivers.
Mm. Yeah, the time difference just was gone in a lap. Like at the beginning of the lap, we were talking about 3 seconds. Now it's down.
New fastest
than
lap
two.
for Chocnay. That's a 1:29.612. That's a tenth of a second faster than his previous lap. And he is going faster and faster as the fuel burns off. And actually, he can start looking and trying to get the slipstream down the next straight, I think. There is a driver in the pits at the moment, but not one of the leaders. Maka leads, though, 6.8 seconds up the road from Chocnay, but there's the small matter of Marco in second place for Chocnay to make the overtake on. Marco, though, at the moment will be thinking mostly about his gap to Michaelides and how many points he can gain in the championship. He may not be thinking at the moment here, Louis, that Chocnay is a major rival for the championship.
Yeah, but like it is time for him to signal his will for that championship title at the end of the season, and it is right about time. Like he wasn't that bad in the first 2 rounds either. It was just a bit unlucky for him.
But so far in the first 2 rounds, it has been Michaelides and Marco. But you're right, Chocnay with a 4th and a 3rd position is it's not been doing badly at all. Can he get second? Can he even dream of the potential win here? I think he can. That gap to the leader is down to 5.1 seconds. And he's under a second away from Marco. How quickly can Chocnay get past Marco? How difficult does Marco want to make it and protect the win for the Team WRT here? And Maka, we shall see, as Maka's results so far, a 3rd and a 4th, identical to Chocnay. They're both on 27 points.
But there is a significant tire difference between them, and for the better side of Chocnay. So as he gets into a slipstream range, I think there will be no questions asked. Maybe by the end of this straight, Marco has
See
to
Marco just moving to the left. Chocnay goes to get the slipstream as well. Is it a dive bomb down into the hairpin? It's a late braking maneuver. But Marco tries to hang on. We've seen moves work both sides of this track here, and Marco just keeps the tail ahead. This is really important for the team win overall. Marco desperate to try and protect his faster teammate today. He's also keen to keep his championship hopes alive and maximise his points as he holds the inside line through this quadruple right-hand section. I think that surely if Jutney can hold on, he'll have the resulting inside line going up the hill. Marco tries desperately to hold the inside line, but surely now, Chokney, they rub wheel arches and Chokney down to the inside. Marco tries the switchback, tries to break early. Chokney, though, has sufficient grip to go around the outside and take second place. Chokney up to second now, but it's cost him time, Louis, to the leader.
A lot, because they were about 4.5 seconds to Maka, and now he still has almost 6 seconds to work on for the last.
Marco has done a tremendous job for the team here. So 1 second a lap is what Chokney has to try and take out of the leader. He's 5 seconds away. This could have taken too much out of his tyres now. We shall see. As you can see, his fastest laps have now gone slower and slower in previous laps. Let's see what Chokney can do. How is Maka doing on the tyres? Well, he has very little tyre life left and low fuel as well.
He's unreasonably so. Look at that. Is he letting him go, or is there a technical problem?
Interesting.
The hazard lights are on as well.
He has a mechanical issue there for Maka that allows Chokney through with absolutely no drama at all. That's a huge shame for him. He's gone into some sort of low fuel, low speed running mode, and that is a very interesting setup there for situation for Maka, down into third position from the lead of the race, but he seems to now suddenly be back going quicker again. That wasn't team orders, surely. Louis, at this stage.
That was kind of anticlimactic.
Yeah.
I was expecting a good battle for first, but now I don't know. Maybe delivery guy came.
Yeah, Maka has suddenly gone into low fuel mode. His fuel light is flashing. Maybe he's miscalculated his fuel intake, turned the engine down and decided he can't get home on the amount of fuel he's got. But Chokney's even on fuel. The red light flashing with 4 laps to go. Marco, how is his fuel looking? I wonder. Pajor is the same on fuel, very marginal. That's early for the fuel light, isn't it?
I think it's 4 laps. It's not that long, so maybe probably it's about right. I'm pretty sure they practiced and they experimented. What's the optimal fuel load.
Personally, I always overfuel because I couldn't possibly want to run low fuel or run out. Yes. These guys, though, they know what they're doing. They're in the pro class. Hodruski has a big tank slapper, swaps ends on him slightly, but he wrestles control back again. It's a standout bright yellow livery here for Hodruski. Chokney is leading the race from Marco and Maka. Very interesting state of affairs for Maka there, where he suddenly slowed, hazard lights on, and allowed second and third places to come on past him. If we get to talk to him later, we'll be asking him what happened there on lap 35, as to why he ended up letting everybody through. I'll tell him, Louis, that you speculate his food arrived at the door and he had to go collect it and pay for it.
Yeah.
Yes. 3 laps to go then in your race tonight in round 3 of the championship. Chokney leads Marco and Maka
as well by the end, especially Marco. Marco is gonna run out of tires. There is no way he can manage 3 more laps on these tires. And Maka is not that different either.
So they have 2 stop, soft, and Chokney has 3 stop this lap. Maka is actually catching Marco now. Maka has the speed advantage. He has a little bit of tyre grip left. They are trying to bring each other home as much as possible ahead of Michalides. The gap at the moment, 14.5 seconds. That does seem at this stage unassailable, but if Marco is limping home on the canvas of his tyres, he might get into puncture territory. We know how hard those cars are to manage when you've got a car a tyre right down onto the red. Here is Pajot. He's finding championship leader Michalides and Hodruski. They could both get Michalides here, Louis.
Yes, that's what I wanted to say also, that they are not that far from Michalides, and Michalides is just not able to push at this point of the race now, because he's low on tires, he's low on fuel.
Yeah.
And Pajot and Hodruski are both on softs chasing him down, so he might even...
Fascinating. The situation where all these drivers are going to be struggling to get the cars home here. They're on the low fuel, they're on low tyre usage left as well, and they've all pushed this a little bit hard. It may be that we've got increased track temperatures and tyre wear than they were expecting, but really should never be an excuse for running out of fuel in the races. Pajot here in 5th position. Hodruski looking for a better line through the hairpin.
Yes,
And Pajot could be in a situation where he is going for the championship leader and trying to get past him. His results so far, as I said before, just he's had a 6-point and a 10-point result. This would be a very good result for him. Would be collecting 12 for 4th place at this stage for Pajot, and he has he would take a huge amount of satisfaction from passing the championship leader.
Yeah, and that's very respectable drive from Pajot all race through.
Oh, Hodruski goes down the inside. Is that a bonsai move? He's just held it to the inside line, and this could save Michalides. Hodruski moves up into 5th. That was from a huge distance back. Amazing performance.
And also Hodruski had a penalty which he served on the line 50 meters before that. I don't know what happened there.
Check out this overtake. He just queued it up and went for it down the inside, and thankfully Pajot saw him coming and left him the room at the apex, because that could have been a huge accident.
Meanwhile,
Hodruski on the soft tyres.
No, it's not.
Oh, there we go, side by side.
Driving on the rims for the last 2 laps.
We'll see. We'll have a look at Macca's tyre usage in a moment. As the helicopter follows the drivers. This is back on board with Hodruski.
Already a huge gap.
Pajot has been left for dust since Hodruski went through. Maybe that's a fuel usage situation. Pajot trying to reach the end here he's down to maybe 2 pixels of fuel on our display.
Yeah.
As Chokne leads from Marco and Macca. Michalides in 4th, and Hodruski looking like he's put enough fuel in the car, which is unusual in this grid right now.
I'm wondering if...
Here then are the 2 WRT drivers. They are 0.2 of a second apart. Macca would love the result over his teammate Marco, but Marco has the lead in the championship. It's possible Macca drifting a little bit wide here. And there you can see Marco on the red on the front left, almost fully red on the front right, almost fully red on the rear right as well. Chokne with far more comfortable tyre wear and tyre choices, choosing 3 lots of softs versus the 2 lots of softs that the Team WRT have taken. Not a bad result though for the team if they can bring these 2 cars home in 2nd and 3rd. It is the final lap for Michalides, for Chokne I should say, and Chokne is about to finish out proceedings. This is 4th place Michalides, down low on fuel, trying to defend here from Hodruski. You've got to feel that that Chokne is nearing the finish line now.
He is.
Where is he? Coming through the final 2 corners. Chokne has been in a class of his own tonight. Fantastic performance. Absolutely bossing this, and he's going to win by a clear 11.4 seconds now. Chokne wins, at Dragentail Gardens on round 3 of our championship, soon to be followed a little bit later by the WRT team pairing of Marco first and of Maka. Marco securing second, Maka dutifully following in third position. Michalides still defending here from Hadrusky, but Michalides looks like he will take fourth position. Good points for the championship, but P3 and P4 in the championship will be taking a big step towards making this a four-way battle as we finish off. Pajor deserves a really strong mention for a great race to finish down in 6th place right now. Shauda Ali was looking very good earlier on, but just chewed through those tyres and picked up a little bit of damage as well to finish in 7th. Then Tazi comes home in the maroon coloured with green accents, number 21. He has 2 corners to go. He looks like he will finish ahead of Panyahan. Roxy did not complete the race. I think he's gone into the pits on the final lap. It looks like it's going to be Tazi from Panyahan to Roxy, and we did lose Wilhelm earlier on for the 11th position. Here is Panyahan to cross the line, but it is all about Chokne tonight, who was fantastic all night long, Louis. A really, really good performance.
Yeah, no question about it. And Chokne left no questions for the rest of the field that he is here and he is definitely signed for that challenge for the championship this season.
Definitely. His results so far: a 4th, a 3rd, and a 1st. And he's going to take a big step towards those 2 at the front of the field, Marco and Michalides. We shall see if he can continue this run of form over into Brands Hatch to come. Don't go anywhere. We will try and speak to our drivers either in Hungarian or in English, depending on their preference. But for now, at least, Chokne will do his lap of honour before we bring you the official results of the race,
Again.
pending any stewards' inquiries. Sorry, Louis, what were you saying?
No. Chokne again making this rabbit in like what's that? This is not a warm down lap, but it's a cool down lap. It's a cool down lap. Chokne. I'm also checking if we have anyone in the waiting room with us.
Yeah, we shall try and bring you that those
Oh,
interviews
Marco.
as soon as we can. It looks like Marco, he knows his way into the interview room, doesn't he, Marco?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, Maka will join
we
later.
will get that.
Yeah, Maka's joining later, so yeah.
Congrats on the P2, first of all.
Yeah. Yeah, I appreciate it, man. I will point out something. Maka had a case of very bad luck. He got a wheel problem while he was leading, and that's why he finished P3.
Mm. We saw that there was some kind of technical issue because the hazard lights came on and it looked like that he's on a auto drive because he was very slow for a few corners. And
Yeah,
that seemed fatal in a way.
yeah.
He spoiled
just
all our fun, didn't he? I mean, we were talking up a big battle. Marco, you held off me. You held off Chokne for a few laps, and we were thinking you'd done the job to keep Maka to secure his win. But in the end, you managed to finish ahead of your teammate. Was that sort of sensible team orders, or were you battling pretty hard?
it wasn't really team orders. Like nothing of it was just team orders. I raced like a normal race, and I saw that Maka was in contention to get his like breakthrough win. And yeah, he's also fine with Tucky for P3, so I wanted him to get the win because I knew that I couldn't get him, and I wanted to do a favor to him, and I was already ahead of Mihalides, so I already had the point advantage over him, and
Hmm.
yeah, didn't work out with his wheel issue, unfortunately. But yeah.
Yeah, we we were following Marco had some great pace today. Today it was a strange one here, Marco, in terms of seeing Chogne and Maka, even Pajot, outperform their current positions in the championship. What do you put that down to? Is it an unusual circuit? Does it expose certain parts of driver performance around here?
Um, I think Payar and Chucky were already fast on their own, but they just needed a track to unleash their full potential. And Chucky
Right.
demonstrated that completely, like pole fastest lap and the win. Well, while Maka was always fast, but had a lot of bad luck in the races. So for him to at least get a podium despite the wheel issue, it's something that I think is really good because he is deserving of strong results, and I really hope that he can win maybe a Brands Hatch because he really deserves a win after all of his trial and tribulation.
He will have all the chances.
Definitely.
He's still
Yeah.
young.
I wonder how long your generosity will last, though, as we get down towards the business end of the championship. I know
Uh,
you're going to want to win this championship.
Yeah, and Maka was also considering letting me buy. He said this like late in the race. He was like, "Oh yeah, you're fine for a championship, so I might let you buy." But I was like, "Nah, man, nah, man. We're like early in the championship, so there's no point in doing that. I
Yeah,
uh,
that's true.
I have no point doing team orders. Like."
Yeah.
Maybe later in the season if things continue like they are, maybe, but
Yeah.
I really just don't want to make it artificial. I just want us
Yeah.
to race. That's it. Yeah,
What you need most of all, I think, is a good teammate to be battling with, and it's an
Maka.
ideal situation to have to have a championship battle with your own teammate, and you need your teammate to have confidence and move forward. So I think that's very sensible. Very sensible situation to be pushing for. So, any highlights particularly for you today, Marco? Any moments or overtakes that you want to call out there?
I did a double overtake. After I pitted, I think it was on Saudade and Payor. I got Payor
Yeah.
on the outside of turn 2, and I got Saudade in the S's. And I literally wanted to get them both as soon as I could because I knew I was gonna get held up. And yeah, I got them even though I had to manage my tires, and I eventually destroyed them.
Great
Definitely.
job.
Louis, I don't know if you've got any questions
Great.
for Marco. I can see Haber Racing
Want
Team
to be rude,
are
but
cheering you on today as well in
the
the
others are
chat here.
also
Yeah.
in the waiting room. So I'm really curious about their point of the race, their
Yeah.
point of view from the race also. But anyways, great driving again, Marco.
Yeah, thanks,
Nice job.
appreciate it. There's my teammate in the waiting room.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay, we'll
So
bring in Maka, and we'll talk to you again soon, Marco. Appreciate you showing up, and it's good to hear from Marco as well. Don't forget that Marco gives up a lot of practice time to give you your commentary for the semi-pro race as well. So a lot of drivers spend their time practicing, and Marco is talking about racing instead. Welcome though to Maka, who comes in to talk to us. Maka, a strong result, unfortunately affected by a wheel issue, it sounds like.
Yeah, no, it was really unfortunate. I was so devastated when it happened as well because I was just going down the main straight. I think it was like 5 laps to go, 6 laps to go. I went to change out of third gear and it just stuck in third gear. Like no matter how many times I changed the paddles, nothing would happen. So I had to turn on my gamepad to pause it so then I could turn off my wheel, let it reset, and then yeah, obviously it came back, but at that point it was just way too late. The thing is, it was a really good race and it was going to end in a really like tight finish as well. And I was looking forward to the battle at the end with Chucky, but at the end of the day, it's kind of like a mechanical failure in a real
Yeah.
motorsport race. It's kind of just these things can happen, and it's just really unfortunate that it happened at that point. But at the end of the day, still got a really strong result as well. Like me and Marco, second and third place. It's a solid performance. So a little bit
Yeah, it looked
disappointed,
like
but not too displeased as well.
it looked like a tricky race to manage the strategy. You and Marco on the same strategy but different to Chucknate and his teammate. So clearly it wasn't cut and dry the best strategy there. You were going for 3 sets of softs. They were going you were going for 2 sets of softs. They were going for 3 sets of softs. Would you change anything looking back at it now?
The thing, I'm not sure because it's really up in the air. Because I know in like the last 2 to 3 laps, you lose about 2 seconds a lap, but an extra
Yeah.
pit stop is 16 seconds.
Right.
So overall, like with the time lost at the end of both the first and the second stint being on the rims basically, then yeah, it kind of like equals itself out. It just depends more on like how well you drive and how much traffic like you get throughout your stints. I think that was more the main deciding factor for this race. Like just more consistent race pace and trying to stay out of traffic. But I think I'd probably do the same thing again. I'd probably try to do the one stop again because I think there's a good chance of us trying to make it. Well, for me to finish first, but obviously the wheel disagreed. So
It's still a
Which
technical sport.
yeah, it is a technical issue and it's a mechanical failure. But what equipment are you running there in the cockpit at the moment?
I've got the Fanatec GT DD Pro, like the official wheel for Gran Turismo that Fanatec brought out. So the thing is, I've had this issue before as well, though. I think, like, I'm not sure what the exact name of it is called, but what the wheel sits in to connect to the direct drive base, I think it's made out of plastic, so it's a bit more loose. It's not as secure. And when there's a lot of force feedback, like I have a strong force feedback setting, and sometimes on strong force feedback, it can like push out of place, and then it just disconnects sometimes. And that was one of those issues. I've not had it for a long time. Like I fixed it like 6-7 months ago, and now it's just happened again. So yeah,
That's
gonna have to try and sort that out.
Is it the quick release? So it just releases mid race.
I think so. I'm not sure because the wheel is still properly attached. I think it's what the wheel connects to on the quick release. I'm sorry, I don't know the names. I'm probably not describing it very well, but
I get
think
it.
it's what goes into the direct drive brace has come out slightly. So I'm gonna have to take
Sounds
the
like
wheel off and put that back in.
you need to tighten it a bit more regularly maybe than
Yeah.
try and
Just
make a habit of that.
Just
But
oil up
or turn down
before
the force
every race.
you've got to take a lot of heart from a strong performance and really strong pace today. How do you rate your chances at Brands Hatch?
The thing is, I quite like Brands Hatch. Brands Hatch is a pretty okay track for me. I wouldn't say it's one of my strongest, but it's a track that I've driven around a lot in previous games and in Gran Turismo as well. So I think we'll have a good shot at Brands Hatch. I think we'll have a pretty good shot at Brands Hatch. I'll try and perform on home
Excellent.
soil as well.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, you've got to perform for the British crowd, of course. Okay, guys. Well, Maka, great to talk to you. Congratulations on a double podium for the team and for
congrats.
surviving that podium despite the technical issue. Hopefully, you'll be able to avoid that for another 7 months' time, and we'll be back. We'll be back to winning ways for you very soon. I know that your teammate was very supportive of the idea of you getting your first win, so that's got to come. Hopefully this season
But
for
don't
you as
expect
well.
him to let you through.
Yeah,
It's not for now.
get it done quick because he's already got his eyes on that championship.
Yeah, so I saw at the end of that race as well. Last 2 laps, me and Marco were having a little bit of fun, but I was happy to just bring it home with us too as well. But yeah, I've had a bit of bad luck throughout this season, but hopefully it starts to change in the next couple of races.
Yeah, definitely. Well, great job, and good to talk to you again. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for all your engagement
Wait,
on the
Chucky
Twitch
is
channel
here too.
and for enjoying the race. Oh, we're gonna talk to Chuck
We
Nate.
have the
Well,
race winner.
I think Louis, you're gonna have to take command of that particular
He
interview.
speaks English pretty well.
Okay,
But
well, give him the
we just
first
lost
question in Hungarian.
all right. As soon as we got him back. Itt vagy, Csoki? Csoki! Csoki, can you hear us?
Itt vagyok, csak átvittem PS-re.
Na, szóval túrós vagy mákos rétes?
Mákos.
Jó válasz, jó válasz. I had my question in Hungarian, but so
It didn't
we
sound
have
much
the
of a
race winner.
detailed question. Cognate, congratulations on winning. You were in a class of your own tonight. Where did that pace come from today?
Honestly, I don't know it. I don't know it either, but I found something in the last corner exit. I was slower than Maka through the whole qualifying, and then I found in the last lap something there, and
You found it and you kept
yeah.
it for the rest of the race. I mean, pole fastest lap and the race win by 11 seconds. How much satisfaction do you take after a performance like that?
A lot. I wanted to win bad after the last round. I wanted to win a Fuji. I love the track, but it didn't happen. So yeah, no, I'm happy.
Absolutely. I mean, you take a big step towards challenging for this championship, especially given the performances from both Marco and Michalides. Looks like you might be into a 3-horse race now as we run into round 4 of the championship at Brands Hatch. How are you feeling about the championship overall?
I hope I can make it. I honestly have a chance, and I will do everything to win it. But yeah, I hope it will be a 5-horse race in the last one. I'm sure everyone will be close at the end. So.
Well, as spectators, of course, we want a nice close championship between multiple drivers to talk over. But drivers generally want as few people as possible. We know you've done a fantastic strategy today, but we also saw a technical problem, a mechanical issue with the racing wheel for Maka. What did you still fancy your chances to beat Maka today if he had not slowed on that lap, or do you think it was going to be really close?
I think it's hard to say, but I think he could have kept it ahead of me. He's fast. I know him. I race with him a lot, so I hoped for a good battle. But it's a shame. It's a shame for him. And I said to him in the waiting room that I'm so sorry for him. It's hard for racers when these technical problems happen, but.
You must have had a lot of faith in your strategy today, because you ran a 2-stop, 3 set of soft tires, and the rest of the drivers were all running just 1 stop. You must have felt very confident on that strategy, or did you start having doubts when you came out in 3rd?
I absolutely didn't have doubts. I tested this strategy in the practice lobbies, and and yeah,
Nice.
I was it could only go 2 ways. I win with this strategy, or no. But I wanted to win, so I was.
True.
Yeah, but even if I can't really speak right now because I'm so excited, but I was absolutely confident about my strategy.
Oh, great. That's good to hear,
Great
and
job,
hopefully it's the first win of many to come. But Cognate, congratulations! It was great watching, and tremendous performance to finish so far ahead, and with every single plaudit possible from today's race. We'll see you again in Brands Hatch and throughout the rest of the season, I'm sure. So a tremendous win for you, and congratulations.
Yeah, thank you, and congratulations to the others and everyone. And you too, also.
Very sporting of Cognate. It was
you
great
did
to
great
talk
in
to
the
him.
commentary.
It was great to watch his win. Really fun. We're going to sign off now and leave you. It's been a long old stint here for the production team behind the scenes, watching the semi-pro and the pro race. Make sure that you share the love on social media throughout the intermediate periods of the season. But do join us same time next week for Brands Hatch and round 4 of 7 of our championship. Louis, take us home.
Thank you guys for having us, and see you the next time.